Oh boy, I cannot wait for my first day of school. I sure hope that daylight savings time doesn't accidentally make me late. Hi. How's it going? It's Opus Magnum. Check it out. Okay, I got a lot of things to go over. Quick note about the timeline. We're about a week out from the hit release of the new exciting expansion, Terra Metallica. I have not streamed Opus Magnum on the channel. Ever, I think. Though I have played Space Chem during the Dark Ages. I very much enjoy this game. I enjoy it quite a lot. And I would love to take the opportunity for Terra Metallica's release to play Terra Metallica on stream, but it does not seem right to me to play that on stream, not having properly streamed and archived the actual game itself. So that's what we're here to do. I'm basically invoking the precedent that we had for the release of Deltarunes Chapter 3 and 4. I've wiped the game, all of my progress, all of my success. I've beaten the game, I've done all the production alchemy, and I've done like half the journal and a handful of bonus, or not bonus, like Steam Workshop maps. Like I'm good at the game. I'm reasonably good at the game. I can beat levels. But, you know, there's always room to improve your designs. That's the fun of a Zachtronics-based game, which this is. Made by Zachtronics. It's called Opus Magnum. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you've read the name of it when you were looking at this video stream output. I'm rambling a bit, but the basic idea is that in preparation for Terra Metallica, I am going to be playing through the main campaign. I don't know how far I'll get. Maybe I'll beat the campaign. Maybe I'll also do production. Maybe I'll even do the journal. There's not much time, and I don't know how important it is that I finish everything that the base game has before going to Terra Metallica. I don't think it's that important. I'd at least like to finish the campaign here, because I imagine the bonus of Terra is going to be its own plot. But I don't know if it, like, changes production alchemy or what have you. So we're just gonna play through it. We're just gonna play it. We're gonna have a good time. Then Terra Metallica will come out. We'll play that. We'll then come back, do whatever we didn't finish in the actual game, and then I would just like to open the door to just playing workshop levels, either just ones randomly about, those recommended to me by the audience, or if you want to make some of your own, we can collect them all, and I can do like what people do when they play Mario Maker and are famous for playing Mario Maker. They can just play levels and people make levels for them. But that's not important. What's important is that today we begin, and I'm not going to stall anymore because, as I said, I'm late for class. Transmutation Lab rules. Access is restricted to graduate-level alchemical engineering students and faculty only. Keep your Student Alchemist Permit, also known as the SAP, and sigil with you at all times in the lab. Is it one full coherent thing, like there's a Student Alchemist Permit and sigil, or is there a Student Alchemist Permit and then separately a Student Alchemist sigil? Is it SAPs, or is it SAP and SAS? Important academic questions that you should really speak to your, like, advisor about. No food or drink is permitted in the lab. Do not sit or lean on transmutation engines or their related components. Please keep the area clean for everyone else. That means you, Anateus. In case you're wondering, we basically play as Anateus, so that's for us. And no, I'm very much going to be making a mess of everything. Also, we got plot. I'm amazed you put off learning how to use the transmutation engine for this long. I was concentrating on working by hand, you know that. Anateus, we're about to graduate. I know, that's why I need you to summarize all this for me as fast as you can. Cool, welcome to tutorial. Welcome to the cram session. So, for those of you not familiar with hit video game Opus Magnus, you are basically creating an intricate clockwork-style machine to turn elements into other elements. So, this top thingy here, this is a reagent. It's an input to your machine. Down here, this little 3 quick thing over here is the product. It's what you're trying to make. Everything in the middle is your methods of making it. Manipulating, moving, attaching, disconnecting, transforming, all your classic alchemical capabilities whose exact names I have forgotten, but will definitely look up for the nature of naming the future streams. You will put down a various collection of machines, such as these little grabby arms right here, and this one over here as well, and you will orchestrate down here a collection of commands for those arms that will run in a perpetual loop. The hope is that you make a perpetual loop of arms and commands laid out in a certain way to take these inputs and create the output. Also, I'm just noticing that despite the fact that I usually don't have the cursor appear on stream, it is appearing here, so that's convenient actually. I don't have to turn that on. And it means I can actually like direct what I'm pointing to. Either way, this is simply an instruction. Let us press play and see how it works. As you can see, arm number 1 is following its commands, but as it goes forward, arm 2 starts doing its commands on the second row. And all of this is creating a perfect loop of creating all of these things and making them happen. You don't need to understand how they work right now, but I do, and we will canonically soon. Understand so far? Of course, I knew this part was easy, that's why I never worried about it. I count you as a friend, Anateus, but sometimes you carry your genius alchemist act a little too far. Act? Anateus is a little bit full of himself. So let's take the first and most important part, the arm. I understand. What's next? Wait, don't thrust your head. Let me go through the material. You need to see this. Our tutor is not very happy with how fast we're cramming. So, the finer details and the ability to do this ourselves. We can pick up the arm, put it in place. We can manipulate the length for, exact mechanical purposes, and rotate how it starts. So in this case, we definitely want it to pick up this reagent so that it can spin all the way over here. So 2 length, start over the salt, and we can go. We can also see the examples of the other arms put down by our helpful instructor mentor. Tutor. That's the word I'm looking for. Oops, I have forgot to add the instructions. For some reason, I thought that would do that automatically. Okay, so the instructions that we need to put, we can see examples of the instructions used for the first few arms, but the basic gist is we grab it, we move it around, then we drop it, and then we spin all the way back around to reset. There are more instructions than this for better manipulation and also some convenience features, but we'll get to those later. Right now, we can see that through our work and effort, we have picked up a thing and moved it slightly to the right. One may argue that we have invented a very overqualified pipe. That's okay, it's for instructional purposes. Right, so arms pick up and move elemental proxies around the surface of the transmutation engine. Right, and you control their behavior with instructions, yes, of course. Of course. Cool, we're learning. In some cases, you'll want an arm to rotate what it's gripping. You mean as opposed to the arm itself rotating. That's right. In those cases, you'll use pivot instructions. Oh man, we have a more complicated element, material. So in this case, we can see that if it rotates, like I'll just open play that, it has to sort of counter-rotate it once it gets to the correct location to fit in the output. Normally, you would be able to rotate the output as you place it down yourself to make the machine, but sometimes you've got a bunch of other machine parts moving around. You do have to twist just to get everything to fit in alignment. Hello, Lark. Yes, it is orb time. I'm about to pick up this object and rotate it. So if we're picking it up by the fire and rotate, it wouldn't actually match the output. So we want to pick it up by the salt, rotate it, and then spin the back around. Pick up, turn left, spin right, drop, and I don't have the reset command, but we don't have to worry about resetting the pivot. That's basically irrelevant once we let go of the object. So it should be a simple matter of turning back left. See? Oh, oops. I have done this backwards. I'm trying to pick up the output. Silly me. All right, let's turn our spinning around. In that case, we want to also pivot it the other way and then go back. There we go. All very straightforward and simple. Anateus agrees with me. How nice that this is so easy for you. Why? How long did it take you to learn all this? Let's just keep going. Yeah. Pistons! A piston arm is a special kind of arm that can extend and retract. And presumably there are instructions that control the piston? That's right, I'll demonstrate. So, we've had left and right, we have now acquired forward and back. Big fancy piston. It's mostly just learning the types of moves you can do, but as you can see, if we rotate like this, we're too far. So we'd have to go out a little bit. So, we can pick it up. It doesn't matter what order we do this in right now. So I'm just going to retract, then turn 2 over, drop it. Where is my... Oh, right. We're also learning about the reset instruction. This is one of the conveniences. Instead of manually letting go and then going back to your initial position, you can simply put down a reset command and it will queue up all of those instructions for you, taking as much time as it would normally to put those instructions in yourself. In fact, if we press play, or even step forward 1, you can see that at the moment we press play, the reset command unfolds itself into the commands needed to return itself to factory default. So we would have put in a let go, turn right, move forward. And that is what the reset command is translating into. There are actually some circumstances where you don't want to auto reset. Like maybe you're doing particular maneuvers. It won't make sense right now. For what we've learned, there's no situation where that's true. But it will be when we learn some new advanced technology in like one tutorial from now. Either way, this should be enough. The hotkeys for controlling the pistons is actually very convenient because W, A, S, and D are kind of like mapped out. Even the pivots on Q and E are kind of mapped out as if you were driving the piston, like operating it like it was a tank or something. Like forward, move the element forward, left, rotates you and what you're holding, like you're picking it up and holding it in front of you or something. It just feels intuitive. And it's very nice. I see. Piston arms can reach areas you can't with a normal arm. That's what makes them so useful. They cost a little more than regular arms, though. And I can use the reset instruction to make an arm return to its initial state from wherever it is. That's convenient. Just remember, the reset instruction takes the same amount of time as it would take to issue those individual instructions. Well, yes, of course it will. Of course. This is all coming very easy. All right, here's that situation where you may want to manually override the default like reset, but that's more of an advanced feature that we will end up using, I imagine, just for a machine I make later, just ambiently, but not really something you're going to run into until you run into it. What's next? Next, we have tracks, which are light paths you can place on the board. It's easier to show you. Okay, so this is now a train game. So you can place a track from one place and then you can sort of like drag out to expand it however you want. The only rules is that, well, it can't run everything else. Effectively, you can kind of see it physically. You're removing the tiles of this board to put the track down, so nothing else can go on the track except for arms that will move along the track. You can kind of think of an arm by itself as, because that lifts up the board as well, just a single stationary track that doesn't go anywhere. But another cool thing is that you can actually, well, you can see it in example 2. You can loop the track around itself. You can just go like, woo. In terms of controlling the track, you can see there's a plus and minus. These correspond to the plus and minus movement commands here. So a plus command will move you towards the plus, going from minus and taking the long way. It moves you plusward. And then minus will move you minuswards. In the case of this too, a plus command is going around the long way. That's a thing you might be a little confused about. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for it to go away from it ever. But that's okay. Then we put an arm on the track, and I can see we can pick up. Let's rotate first. We'll do a spin, along the track, and that should put us right there. And then reset. Nice. I see. When you place an arm on a track, the arm can move forward or backward along the path. Tracks can be quite powerful, but I'm still learning how to use them effectively in my designs. Could you put multiple arms onto a single track? I think so. I never thought to try that. I'll have to experiment later. The answer is you can. It is useful, but it is also a little dangerous because the arms can kind of slap into each other. Now we learn there's more to the world than just logistics. We can alter the form of what we have. To perform transmutations, we use glyphs. For example, say I want to calcify an element. You'd place a glyph of calcification on the board and move the element you want to calcify over it. Anateus! I mean, yes, that's correct, but at least let me get through the explanation first. I got all the explanation I needed. Cool. We are going to make salt. So demonstrating by the mentor, the tutor arm. You just sort of swing it over it and it becomes salt. This is water, it becomes salt. It's saltifying. And now we can take... wait. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out the... Oh, we're pistoning it. Okay, so take this. I guess move it in and then rotate over. Grab in, turn, reset. And as it moves, it becomes salt. Get salted. It's quite fast, this glyph. Yes, welcome to modern alchemical engineering. How many transmutations are available as glyphs? Most of the common ones so far. There's ongoing research to develop more, which you would know about if you paid any attention to recent developments in your field. Welcome to bonding, the glue that glues your glue. This must be the glyph of bonding. It is. To use it, actually, why don't you show me how it works? Seems that's the way things are going here. Very well. Cool. So, we got 2 sides to the glyph. If we move 2 elements over, they will combine. Now, there's dangers here, because if you try and do an illegal move, at any point, things start breaking. For example, you might think you can simply pick up both elements, then you can spin 3 over, 4 can spin over, and then you can like let go and then like reset. No such luck, because we have a problem. We have 2 arms that are holding on to the same molecule now. Because they are bonded, they are one object. This one's trying to move it up and to the left, this one's trying to move it up and to the right. And something's gotta give. And the thing that gives is the machine. There's an error here. So, even if we didn't rotate number 4 and simply let it go about its business on that turn, it's still holding the molecule in place. And if we start going off the, like, it's trying to rip it apart. And it's just, like, weird and confusing, and we don't want to deal with that. Solution for that is to let go. And letting go of an element happens before the movement on that turn. So this will be safe. In fact, I could just make it a reset command, because a reset command will always start with letting go if it has to. As you see, it pulls over, and then at this exact moment, it will both let go on arm number 4 and move to the left on arm number 3. And we are safe to go. Unfortunately, I did not actually spin the molecule to the correct orientation, but we already know how to do that. That's a pivot. Splendid. The transmutation engine makes alchemical engineering far simpler. You could have been using it the whole time. But I'm glad I did things the hard way for so long. I hope you're not like this in real life, Anateus. But this is real life. Look at this. Look at this nerd that I completely agree with. Okay, final exam. I think that's everything you need to know to use the transmutation engine effectively. I'll make one more product to make sure I get it. Okay, so we just have the full board available. It's everything we will ever possibly use. Not actually true, but most of them. So, now we have our toolbox of all things. We have the available inputs, which is apparently 2 individual waters. Apparently it is elemental water specifically. And we are trying to make stabilized water, which is apparently water with some salt on it. Now, I wouldn't be so worried about the physical or chemical equivalents of these things. I'm not saying that this is salt water. I'm just saying that this is a water that's been stabilized with the salt. Okay, maybe it's salt water. It shouldn't be salt water, and it's not salt water, but it kind of feels like salt water. It's water. It's stabilized water. As opposed to like a single element of water, which is water, but like it's not water, whatever. There's honestly probably something closer to like oxygen. Don't worry about chemistry. We ain't in chemistry land. We're in alchemy land. Also, these are just marbles. These are proxies for the real alchemy that happens like much smaller. If you can imagine like a surgeon doing surgery with like a big machine that makes the bigger movements that they do smaller on the scale of the grape they're doing surgery on, then like that's kind of how this is. It's more of like a broader control board for people. But we're on our own here. We got special. We also have arms that like have more arms on them for like more fancier clockwork machinations. I'm not going to use those right now. This is simple enough simple enough as is. You can also control click to make copies of a thing, and this won't work for my purposes, but okay, I think I see how I want to do this. I'm gonna have arm number 2 swing around to put it in, but along the way we are going to bond here, and then I'll pivot while this arm is here and this one is here and letting go. I'll pivot it so that it goes this way, so that this end can hit the salt, and then we'll continue spinning over. When I was preparing to do this series, I knew that I needed to figure out a way to actually make sure I'm explaining my thought process at every step of the way. Otherwise, this would be very, very boring to watch. So, grab on both. Arm number 1 will need to turn left, and then it can pretty much just reset immediately. Then, Arm number 2 is turning, and then it pivots at this point to get the salt. Then turns over, and then it can reset. But is that really the best we can do? It certainly seems to work. But are we really going to call that a job well done when we can do even better? Because we have these multi-arms. And when a multi-arm resets, it doesn't necessarily need to reset to forward, because it's like triangular symmetric. At the point where we let go of the element with the solution, we're sitting with another one of our symmetric arms over what we would want to pick up anyway. So why bother with the auto reset when we can simply let go and start the loop again immediately? And now, we're going even faster. And now we have statistics. Here's where the game becomes like a refinement of your own personal mastery. First off, there are 3 aspects to a solution to any puzzle that exists. There's the cost of the solution. Each individual glyph and arm that you place down has an associated price to it. There's the cycles, that is a simple measurement of how long it takes to solve. And then there's the area, which is harder to explain. But while playing through a solution, if you hold... I forgot the button. Oh, it's 2. If you hold down 2, you'll see that as we move things around, it's sweeping out a particular area of the board. The maximum area that is swept out is this area score, just the number of tiles that are in the solution, not just where you put a machine or a track or a solution, but also the space where an element moves over as you're like moving it and rotating it. Physically swept out. You can see here that these bottom 2, I didn't put any machines there, but the outer edge of the molecule we're making is sort of slapping over those regions. So they are part of the solution because they are needed to have proper clearance. In fact, even the empty arms of arm number 2 moving back around here does also contribute to the area used / wasted. And this enters in the trade-offs. I could go back to the original 1 arm here and go back to a proper reset. This would make this arm go here, here, and then back along the same route. It would save these 3 tiles of area, but make the solution longer, because we gotta wait for the arm to go back over. So there's trade-offs. You very often cannot solve for all 3 optimally at the same time. You can only go for 1, maybe 2. Sometimes there's a correlation between low cost and low area, just because, you know, the less things you buy, the less space you're using to put the things you bought. Most people, myself included, tend to try and solve on speed, but it's also fun to solve these. Now for the actual charts. This bar chart kind of shows the distribution of all players and their solutions. As you can see, we're with our cost of 60 gold right now. We exist on this big solid vertical line of score in this big box, which says that most players solved it in this sort of band of cost. Similar with the cycles, our cycle count of 40 is in this band, and our area of 12 is in this band right here. When we had the third, like the 3-arm method, and I can fast forward this slightly, I actually can't, it'll just speed up over time. We can see that now we have a cost of 70 because the triple arm was more expensive, an area of 15, but now a cycles of 30 instead of the 40 we had before. Below these bar charts, you can see the scores of your friends on Steam. So here we can see Pianui over here with a cost of 80. And these do not represent your current score. This is the best score you ever achieved in that category. Apparently, the best cost I ever had for this mission was 40 gold. The best cycle is 30. And my best area was 7. As you can see, I am, or at least was, pretty good. It's not necessarily that I was good. It's that I went back to optimize these. I imagine most people were like, okay, I solved water. I solved the tutorial. And then when they learned all these techniques and experience later, they didn't really bother going back to it. And I don't blame them. So don't let these scores denote who's actually like strictly better at the game. It's just a measure of who put in the time. Though I will, perhaps for future levels, flaunt my superiority over Pianui specifically, simply because I think it would be funny. So, what are your plans after you graduate? I think I'll be a head alchemist for one of the August houses. That's bold. Right out of school? Why not? True enough. No ambition could be too great for you. And yourself? I like it here. I think I'll stick around and hopefully become a professor. You do seem to have an affinity for teaching. Think so? Well then, may each of us realize his Opus Magnum. Opus Magnum. I've always found that to be a rather pretentious term, but I agree with the sentiment at least. Why are you laughing? Anateus, I found something pretentious. Tell me more. Hey, we did it. We have graduated, and we have a job out of college. Dear Anateus, congratulations on your appointment to the position of head alchemist to the House Van Taffen. I am very pleased to see you find a position in line with your talent and abilities. As you prepare to leave the academic life, I want to offer a word of advice. The politics of the city are much harsher and more dangerous than those of the academy. You are a singularly gifted talent, and I would hate to see you get caught up in those conflicts. The alchemist's place is not to sink to the level of those around us, but to rise above them in service of our art. Best of luck to you. Nadine Ptolomeo, Professor and Chair, College of Alchemical Engineering, Imperial University. We got a job! So, time to get introduced to our station and the house that rules it. So how did it go? A nightmare. Armand kept going through his old stories about honor and righteousness. The Lady Van Tassen looks like she's embalmed. Frederick spilled food down the front of his shirt. What a brave man you are surviving a formal dinner. It really is difficult, though. I can't stand the stuffiness. And Armand didn't remember my name. Captain Geld had to prompt him several times. To be fair, you started only rather recently. Yes, I suppose it's too much to ask. Such a complicated, burdensome thing to remember one single name, the name of your new alchemist. The one who graduated at the top of its class from the College of Alchemical Engineering. Anateus, see, you remember my name just fine. Think Armand would know my name, keeping in mind I've been here my whole life? Maybe next time you can go in my place. You might not even realize it's a different person. Alchemist, provisioner. Which were you again? Yes. They'll get us in trouble. I've been doing this for years. Cool. First job. Oh my goodness, we're making gold. The alchemy thing. We're becoming a stereotype. Well, this is an odd first project. I feel like someone's having a laugh at my expense. Why? Were you asked to create the Philosopher's Stone? Close, actually. One more guess. Transform lead into gold? Yes. Apparently there's an old Van Tassen lead mine, and wouldn't it be better if it produced gold instead? Our man suggested it so casually. Sounds wonderful. Time to put your university degree to the test. Alright, let's do this. So, we are actually still in a tutorial. The Academy has not prepared us for metals, or at least not canonically on the side of the game we're playing, but it's pretty simple, and will be expanded upon in the upcoming Dere Metallica expansion, which I'm very excited for. But the basic idea is that you get two things. A metal, and Quicksilver. I sometimes accidentally call it Mercury, but like they're the same thing, really. Canonically, they're the same thing. Basic idea is that you can use Quicksilver to turn element of any particular metal into a higher, like, purity, air quotes, a higher level metal, and we're going to gold here. There is a chart about yeah, here we go. So these are all the elements that exist according to this piece of paper that we have. Common alchemical primes in the transmutation. Keep in mind that it's common. Asmodeus II has a lot of opinions. But you can see that in the center we have salt. We have the 4 cardinal elements of fire, water, air, and earth, separated as such. We have Vitae and Mors. We'll get to those later. And then over on the right side, we have the ascending pyramid. Okay, it's more of the ascending spiral of the metals. Starting at the basest metal of lead, through repeated applications of quicksilver, we can ascend to tin, iron, copper, silver, and gold. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. The naive solution to this is not a bad solution at all. We will simply pick up the lead, put it over the input for the metal, which is this one that doesn't have a hole in it. Meanwhile, the quicksilver will go in here and be consumed in the process, turning the lead into tin and then so on and so forth. So as far as we care about, we just pick up the quicksilver, move it over, and then go back. Meanwhile, for the tin, we move it over and then we have to hold it there. We're going to need a lot of quicksilver to get this thing up to gold. Particular, 1, 2, 3, we're going to need 5 of this stuff. So, another convenient command, the repeat instruction. You put this down and it will copy every single command that came before it, timings and all, and just do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there's our 5 quicksilver. Then, when it's done, which should be around the here point, we want to continue the lead, now turned into gold, on its journey of 1 more tile down. And then we can reset. We're going to do this solution, and then I'm going to start talking about the advanced materials relevant to optimization. But as you can see, it goes tin, iron, copper, silver, gold. I'm not allowed to forget iron. Tin, iron, copper, silver, gold. Mission accomplished. For most of the naive solutions, you can definitely see that most people just do it and then it's did. Now let's do better. So, a few more things to point out. You can kind of see that. Okay, look at the board right now, particularly track 1 above where the cursor is that I'm picking up and putting it back down again. I've accidentally gotten rid of it. You can kind of see this like highlighted area along the track, and if I put something way over here, the highlighted area expands. This is a measure of the... Okay, so in order for you to have a perfect closed loop, all of the machines need to go back to the start with the same timing. All the machines that have done something need to begin again all together at the same time. That's not the same, they all have to start at the same time. You can start a machine a little later down the line, but this length of time, the time it takes for one arm to loop, must be the same for all arms in order to have that like perpetuality to it. And this means that the length of the loop will always match the length of the longest list of instructions you have for the arm. So if I just delete all this for a second and say that arm 1 does something like left, 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 right, 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 and then, I don't know, arm 2 does like a left, right, you can see that the arm number 2 would need to wait 2 more instructions of doing nothing in order for this to loop perfectly in sequence. And you can watch that go about right here. Even though we only put left, right in perfect sequence, we are seeing arm 2 wait until arm 1 finishes its loop. So all loops are artificially padded with nothing to match the length of the longest instruction length. And this happens no matter where the instructions are. If we put the 4 left, rights in the middle, it doesn't consider the start of the instructions to be until its first instruction begins. So in this case, this is a way to sort of stagger the sequence. And that is very useful indeed. In fact, you can stagger it so far that it doesn't begin until multiple repeats later. So we can see Arm 1 does its thing for a long time, and it's only until much later that we finally hit Arm 2 waggling back and forth. And this means that if you need to do some preparation for a later arm, you don't need to have that arm doing stuff until it has something to do. I don't know if I'm explaining this helpfully, but you know, it's what it do. So in the case of this, the biggest problem we have is that arm number 2 is sitting there for a long time, and we can't really avoid that. If we want to make the whole thing, the whole mission be shorter, it needs to wait for all 5 of the Quicksilver to go in, and we can't really speed up that process of waiting, so we have to speed up the Quicksilver. Fastest way to do that, in my opinion, is let's just put down the original Arm 1 instructions again. So we pick up, we turn left, and then we reset, and we did that 5 times. But while Arm 1 is busy, possibly while it's letting go and coming back, this input's doing nothing. What if we put an arm there, and while Arm 1 is done with its job, it's let go and everything, what if Arm 2 picked up a Quicksilver as well, moved it over, dropped it, and came back? Even just doing this once will drop an entire 4 instructions off the trailing edge of the first arm. So let's see it in action. I'm going to step through it. Arm 1 grabs. Arm 1 moves over. A new Quicksilver is in the input spot. Then Arm 1 lets go at the same time Arm 2 picks up the new Quicksilver. Arm 2 moves over while Arm 1 moves back. These don't collide. Like, empty arms swaying back and forth, taking up the same space, will not collide. It's just convenient like that. And then Arm 2 lets go. Arm 1 picks up the new Quicksilver, and we have a cycle. So even this alone has saved off 4 entire steps of Arm 1. And because it takes 4 product to confirm that a solution is real and actually loops, that's going to be like 24 cycles off of our final solution. But we can do better. Why use Arm 2 twice when you can use it twice? Why use it once when you can use it twice? And now we're going to be making lead to gold real fast. And let's check the timing on that. So it's lead, it's tin, it's copper, it's iron, it's copper, it's silver, it's gold. Good. So it is gold. It is good to gold here. We can move that over and then reset. But as you can see, this is now the longest element. It's pushed it forward by putting in that reset. But what if we use the triangle trick? Instead of having to spin it back around, we simply let go and have our next arm ready in position. That will not add any more to the sequence, and we will be ready to go. So I think this is, like, theoretically the fastest that you can possibly make this. We're limited by how fast we can pick up Quicksilver from the input spot. And just knowing from experience, you can only pick up an element from its input every other cycle. So as you can see, we have a final cycle time of 62. Actually, hold up. I've accidentally committed perjury. What is this? We can go further. I even have gone further in the path. How have I done this? Okay, hold on. We have a mystery here. I see it. I see it. There is a room for improvement here. I said earlier that the limiting, like the bottleneck, is how fast we can grab Quicksilver out of the input. But notice, if we just watch it move, there is a period of time where they're not picking it up. And that is the space here. Well, in particular, the space right here, where normally Arm 2 would be picking up another Quicksilver, but we stopped because we only needed 5. The issue, though, is that when we start up picking up Quicksilver again, we're using Arm 1 because that's our loop. We're stuck like this because we're in an odd-numbered loop. And, like, how are we going to take out an odd number of Quicksilver? If we take out 6 Quicksilver, well, we have a Quicksilver left over, and that's going to just gum up the works later. We'll be leaking Quicksilver. This machine will have a leak in it. But what if we picked up 10? 10 Quicksilver would be enough to refine 2 lead elements into gold. So what if we just did everything again, but this time it's 2 that picks up the 3. So just for demonstration purposes, let's put it over here. Let's say 2 picks up, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2. At the same time, we can pick up a new lead, move it over, and just following the same kind of rhythm, do this. Now we've taken a collection of instructions and in one loop make 2 gold. One individual loop is longer, but we're making 2 product in that single loop. These may cancel out to an extent. They don't, because I've put all this dead space in to demonstrate what the heck I'm doing. But imagine we could move this here. That would save a lot of time. Problem is, we don't have room. Oddly enough, because of the triangle arm needing to, like, take up space. But we've made a kind of faulty assumption here. Why do we need to pick up the tin at the exact very beginning? Like, the Quicksilver is still going to be there when we get there, at least until another Quicksilver comes in. We could, in theory, stall this ever so slightly. And that would give us some room here. That would give us some room to then push this in. And though it's not the perfect meshing of the 5 and 5, this should already be an improvement. I would like to see it in action. And now our cycle to 67. But we can go further. What if we stall it by 1 more? Have the grabbing of the lead happen here to in. That would give us enough space to move out the last gold and put it in the new one without any lost time. There is a problem though. We're too late. Before we can get the lead over to the Quicksilver, the next Quicksilver in line is smashing into the first Quicksilver, which normally wouldn't happen because we would have expended it already to get the, like, Quicksilver ready. Like, to turn the lead into tin. Which means we can't do that. The latest we can do is 1 cycle, which ruins this part here. But we only need to save 1 cycle in order to get the second loop to work fine. So if we can't change when we put in the tin, what if we change when we, let's say, pick it up? Because if we were hypothetically already holding a tin, we could then safely move this turn in it would happen at the same time that this turn happens for the first half of the loop. So what if, in the process of waiting, because we're doing nothing else, we let go of the tin being refined, or I assume it's tin at that point, the metal being refined, and then just pick up the next lead while we're waiting. Then, when we rotate over to, like, drop in the lead to be refined, that's happening simultaneously with us taking our refined gold and dropping it in here. So we've actually outdone ourselves here. We don't even need this second rotation. It can all happen in one as long as we let go. And for convenience, let's let go as soon as possible. In fact, we could move this back to the start because it no longer matters. But let's say, pick up, move left, let go. And then I just want to... we could even pick up again immediately. We just hold the next lead in reserve. From there, the refinement should be done here. We would turn left, let go, then so this let go will both drop the gold into the output and drop the new lead in place. We then just let 5 more cycles happen. We can even pick it up immediately. Then go left to here. Then drop it. Now, I say all of this on the assumption that we could just pick up and drop at the same time. We can't do that with a 3-symmetric, but we can do that with a 6-symmetric. I'm actually going to put the grab at the end here, because there's a symmetry that comes from this. When we pick up, we move over. Pick up, we move over. When we pick up, we move over. We actually have an interesting thing here. This instruction at the end is redundant because it's serving the job of this first one. So delete it. And then look what happens. The Quicksilver is used perfectly perpetually. We are 1 cycle short of perfection. And to be honest, I'm not sure how we get there. Let's see here. 1, 2. Okay, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Strictly speaking, we could do the grab here. We're like 1 off from like full perfection, and I think the solution to that is to simply moving this forward by 1 does not alter the situation. Now we're in the weeds. In the weeds solutions here. Okay, we've made the timing worse by doing this. How early can we do the second grab? Because the earliest that we can drop the gold away, that's too early. Okay, I think I see the problem. The problem is that we can actually drop the gold in sooner on the second cycle. So we can pick up here and we drop in effectively after a wait of 6. But in theory, we could drop in the gold 1 sooner if we could like manually override the loop. We can't really do that. What if we solve the Quicksilver? This won't solve anything. This will just make Quicksilver acquisition harder. No matter what, we're bound to this Quicksilver line. And perfect symmetry puts this here. I see the problem. Okay. From the start, assuming we were like 1 cycle in the future, there would be a gold here. We then pick it up, move it over, but theoretically, we could have been holding that gold to begin with. And that's the issue here. We're spending 1 extra cycle to pick up the gold and move it over when we don't need to. I think this means that we're having Arm 3 do too much. I think Arm 3 should be like singularly responsible for moving the lead over. It will do more things in this waiting period, but that's fine. That doesn't increase the amount of time, it just increases the amount of work. Number 4, newly acquired, will have the singular job of picking up the gold and moving it to the gold area and out of the way of the next lead. So, for that, well, really, all 3 has to do is pick it up and move it over and then just go back to the start. Wait for its next assignment, which would happen exactly here. Then, at the moment the gold is ready to go, we can pick it up at our leisure. Then, upon refinement, immediately turn it over and then go back. We then do this twice. Theoretically, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just copy this over for a second so I can just kind of pretend I know the timings of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This goes at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One after the final one. So here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, one after the final one. So it would go here, I think. Starting the arm in the wrong position. Yes, okay. As mentioned before, dropping an element happens before moving it. So we drop the Quicksilver in on the exact same cycle that we move the resulting gold out. And that's what makes the difference. The actual size of the loop is the exact same, but it means that we're getting the gold out slightly earlier within a cycle. That gives us the one extra we need, and now we're at 62, which I now think is the theoretical best we could do. So that has been a deep dive into optimization. I'm not going to worry too much about optimization right now. We're in the campaign section, and I'm doing this for archival purposes. So I'm more concerned about getting solution down, making some obvious corrections and improvements as we see fit, and then we'll go back later and become the best we ever can once we're in like perpetual overtime. Can you make lead into gold? I can scarcely believe it. Well, at least it's finished with now. It's like asking a fish. It's like asking a fish if it can swim. You're taking this remarkably poorly, Anastasia. I was expecting a challenge, that's all. Sounds like you want a chance to show off. I'm not sure if I'd go that far. Now we got some work. We can basically do this in whatever order. I'll just go down the line. Have you seen the Lady Van Tassen recently? A few days ago. Why? Did you notice how pale her face is? Oh, she's well known for her pallor. Why, did someone ask you to do something about it? Armand himself did. It seems it's gotten worse lately. People are whispering about her health. That's unfortunate. The lady hasn't had an easy time of things. I'd hate to see her slandered on top of it all. Okay, so our job today is to take elemental earth and turn it into face powder, which is apparently just, well, using water as our example, this would be stabilized water? Well, stabilized earth. Which I guess means this is some sort of mud spa treatment, maybe? That's my theory. I feel like there would be a water element involved if that was the case. But this is exactly the same as purified water, but with a different element. So I stand corrected. We only have one input, so our earth and our salt must come from the same salt of the earth. Let's go for a space-saving solution for this one. So, assuming we are going for like the smallest space ever, we can fit all of the constituent pieces together in this one area. So we can assume that the best solution we can get is a 7. Because we need to bond them together, and we need to turn something into salt. We need the input, we need the output, and we need at least one arm to move it all around. So this should, in theory, be the lowest area. Now, it's just a matter of how do we choreograph it. The big problem is that whenever we move anything over the salt, it will get obliterated, or it will be turned into salt. So if we want the earth element as the output to be kept alive, we cannot cross over it. At the same time, we do want to cross over it with salt. So looking at it immediately, I'm thinking, hey, we can grab this, put the salt there, go back, grab this, put the earth here to bond it, then track it back over to here. I don't know if that's speed efficient, if maybe I can do some other thing like put the two earths down, then like say we did like this, where we pick it up, move an earth here, pick up another, move that earth here, then like dip it into the salt, and actually we can't go around because we'll hit the element in the input. We do this. Okay, so pick up the earth, drop it here, pick it up, drop it here. They're bonded now. We move over this way, dip the edge of our molecule in the salt after it's bonded, then pull back, drop here. I think that might be interesting. And given we're going to be dropping it off here and picking up here, we can save on resets by having a 2 symmetric arm. I don't know if we can let go. We're going to have to do a turn. A 3 symmetric arm would be able to let go and pick up, but we actually cannot do that because if we pick up both this and this at the same time, this one would be moved off. So 3 symmetry is out, 6 symmetry is out. I think 2 symmetry is our best bet here. So, alternatively, okay, no, if we pick up and go here, the new earth will block our path back. So, let's pick up, left, let go. We are now here in this position. Fastest way back to the arm is actually to do another left and let the back arm take care of it. Then we can pick it up, turn it over. These will now be bonded. Oh, sorry, turn over, now they're bonded. Then we go from here, from the other side, left to dip it. and then a right, and then a let go. And I think coincidentally, doing this in this way actually does put the forward air quotes arm back over the stop. So I could put a reset here and it's literally just the let go instruction. To look cooler, I will not use the reset instruction. But this should be everything. Pick it up. Moves over to bonding for later. Let's go. Use the back arm to pick up the other earth. It bonds. We turn. Dip it in salt. Put it back. Output. And then it repeats. This is almost certainly the optimal area, but I suspect it might not be the optimal cycles for this low area. But you can see, based on like all the bar charts here, that we're in the running for lowest cost ever. We have 50. I think the solid line might be... No. The solid line is our result right now. The bounds for this are not always like... They're not hyper granular. Like, we're being put into this like range between 40 and 50 despite having it be exactly 50. And that's just because these bar charts need to have some volume to them. So they're more like ambient ranges. So like this being 7 is correct. 10 is on the line. So you'd actually get credit for 10 if you, or at least like as far as the bar chart is concerned. It's low granularity because if it were based on the exact specific number, this thing would be hyper wildly sporadic. These are meant to capture trends, not be like perfectly refined. And it is capturing a trend. Cost, there's like this weird bifurcation. There's like 2 modes of solution, apparently. One with a very low cost, probably what we did, and one that is also very popular that uses slightly more. If I were to guess, this might be the bifurcation between solutions that use 1 arm and solutions that use 2 arms. Maybe actually, how much is an arm? It costs 20, so I can leave and look at the bar chart. We can see our solutions here. Yeah, so adding another 20 to that would get that into like the 60-ish, 70 range, which might be enough to make that make sense. This should help the lady's face look less pale, though it's quite a superficial solution. Who can really say what troubles the Lady Van Tassen? It's not for us to know. Have you ever heard her speak? I didn't say a word. She didn't... I don't know if Anatea said anything. He probably didn't. She didn't say a word during the dinner I went to. I remember her speaking to me once or twice when I was a child. Odd. Just another one of the many Van Tassen mysteries, I suppose. One gets used to them after a while. Okay, waterproofing. Do you know much about ships, Concordia? Our merchant fleet delivers goods from overseas about once a month. Why? Captain Gelt told me they used to have some kind of substance they put on the hull so they didn't rot. I don't know anything about it. Have you ever been on a ship? I haven't, no. You? Not at all. Sounds ghastly. Being tossed around on the ocean, then getting eaten by sea monsters. I'm not sure all sea voyages are like that. Enough of them are. Okay. So, we've gotten a bit more high-tech here. The glyph of multi-bonding is basically multiple glyphs of bonding glued together in a triangle coat. It is mostly for the convenience of being able to do more bonding in a single area. Otherwise, you'd have to be like, all right, make a bond here, then move over here to make this bond. It's just nice and convenient, and it solves the problem you usually have, which is molecules that have a sort of chain or branching kind of shape to them. Like this, our waterproof sealant made of a water, air, and an air. Here's an air, here's an otter, here's an oiter. Let's get to work. So, it suggests we use the glyph of multi-bonding. I can understand why. You can imagine putting a water here, here, and here. And then 2 of those waters being air. Bonding them together in this perfect chain and then going in. But we could also do the same by simply Just like bonding, moving one half out of it, the other stays there, and then putting another on. The glyph of multi-bonding costs 20 money more. So if you're willing to save on cost, you might want to do that. Either way, I think we should divvy up the work here. I do like having a fast solution. We could perhaps have something... Actually, I think I'm going to go for like raw speed here. Oh yeah, check this tech out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have... Yeah, okay. So, similar trick that we had last time to pick up as fast as possible. Arm 1, Arm 2, in sequence, we'll do this. Oops. There we are. Now, in order to get this, I would like to not have extra work so we can keep the cycle, the loop size, as small as possible. So let's just say this is good and get a third arm. Let's say here. Ignore arm number 3. This is now arm number 3. So at the moment where arm number 2 lets go, arm number 3 and pick up, move here. If you can kind of imagine it, actually I can just sort of move through. It'll look like this. So comparing it with our solution, and say, let's put the solution there for reference, we want there to be a bond here that puts in the water. At the exact same time that arm 3 picks up, let's have arm 4 pick up, move it in. And that's our finished product, provided we can get this done. So arm 3 can leave. Arm 4, I would like to... like that, and a rotation would make it like this. So what if, instead of arm 4 picking up and dropping it back down, it instead picks up, turns right, then turns right again. Let's go. We don't have time to reset it because it's moved all the way over here, but we do have time to let go. So this is triangle symmetry time. Let's see how this looks. It is seamless. That's probably some of the best cycles you get. It's even better than a previous solution I had. Fantastic. Inui did pretty good as well. Also, I really like this feature in the game. You can just record a loop of your solution. Because the solutions are like fundamentally cyclical, you can just make a loop of your solution, and then it's like really pretty, and you can stare at it for hours and just be like really, really like hypnotized. So you can just enjoy it. That's a pretty good solution right there. With this sealant ready, the fleet should soon be ready to set sail again and bring back, well, whatever it brings. They're loaded with all kinds of things. Cloth, pottery, mineral ores, rare herbs, strange stones, sometimes even animals. Sounds like a good business. I'm not sure. Those contracts were drawn up centuries ago. I doubt even our man knows the details. Cool. Hangover cure! If I'd known I'd be tasked with curing a hangover. Oh, I bet I know who asked you for that. It was Captain Kelt, wasn't it? How'd you guess? It would be good for him to at least somewhat functional in the morning. Be at least somewhat functional. Yes, it seems prudent for the head of security for the entire house to not be totally incapacitated on a regular basis. Let's not go too far. Kind of asking a lot for him. Okay, we've got our elemental water, and we've got... Wait, it's just water. Okay, but this is basically stabilized water with extra steps. Let's do this. Let's go... Oh, I can do something funny. It's not cost-effective at all, but I think it'd be funny. Maybe I don't want to go to that. Or do I? Okay, there's two important... Yeah, I don't think I do. The symmetry is a little janky. What's important here is that we're going to be needing some salt. If we use the two-arm trick again, the first one can pick up the salt twice. So, like, hypothetically, it goes that way. And then maybe the second one... Well, no, it would be flapping in the way, but... If it goes in a different direction... So then we need time for the salt to move off the glyph. I don't know. Well, let's try assembly lining it as best as we can to start off. Pick up, left, reset, do it again. Meanwhile, pick up, right, reset, don't do it again. Oh no, we should have 3. That's gonna be tough though. Okay, I do think I want to go with my first idea. It's a little more complicated, but I think it kind of fits the job better. You can imagine we just have like a just an assembly line of arms to do a job. Kind of hard to edit the tracks when there's stuff already, but imagine like, here's our loading dock. Just put some arms here. If this one pick up, move forward, then the next one picks up, moves forward, then the next one picks up, move forward. Seems cool. Oh, nope, it needs to go forward first. Forgot that step. So that's pretty cool looking. Maybe I'm over optimizing this. I should just like actually make the solution. Actually, maybe I should optimize for something else. What if we optimize for space? That would be a little out of reach. We have no room for the arm. Shame. Yeah, let's just treat this with a vague sense of knowing what we're doing. Big trouble is the singular input. You make salt. Salt it. Salt it. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I see it. Oh, I see something real good. Check this out. Pick it up, move it to the left. Pick it up, move it to the right. 2 clicks later. Pick it up, move it right once. Reset, reset, reset for a second. Ooh, I didn't account for that. But what if instead then arm 3 goes first? Oops. Too long a delay there. Then, hypothetically, a glyph of multi-bonding would make all of these correct instantly. Okay, the problem is that we are hitting the loop here. We triangle strategy this. Okay, now it's much too fast. Yeah, we've gotten to the point where 2 and 3 are trying to do this at the exact same time. This was a mistake. We need to make the loop longer. Now from here, 2 doesn't have enough time, but another arm here would have plenty. Let's see, it would be like that, so at any point, the moment 2 lets go, it can then swoop in, move left, reset. We can grab earlier and then start moving after the let go because the water's been there the whole time. Not bad. Pretty good cyclage, even. I see no reason to meander here. Let's leave. There are days where I could use such a cure myself. Here, have some. What? This isn't for me, Anastasia. You get caught. It's fine. There's a secret. My amazing hangover cure is water. Just plain water? Captain Gelt has no idea, but apparently he loves it. Works wonders, he says. Rather funny. Also, I'll never trust an alchemist again. You shouldn't. Airship fuel. Captain Gelt asked for something to put in the Van Tassen airship. Apparently it's out of fuel? Oh, that old thing. First time I've heard someone say that old thing in reference to an airship. The last time I remember the airship actually in the air was a celebration for Frederick's birth. Clearly Frederick disappointed his grandfather so much that never took it out again. More likely it's simply been out of fuel this whole time. The whole time? Are you serious? After the old head alchemist died, we had an interim one for a while who was not great. Yeah, so I guess we're better than the old alchemists for all intents and purposes. Now this is the most complicated thing we've made so far, but only temporarily. It'll get harder soon enough. Okay. So something that bothers me immediately is that we have 3 inputs and 4 outputs. That is not a stable number. So I'm actually going to ignore this one. I don't want it. As far as the solution itself, there's a nice symmetry here that I would like to make. I know that there's only really, like, speed, area, and price for the ways that the game officially evaluates your solution, but there is something to be said for just making something aesthetically beautiful. So, let's say we make 2 stabilized fires. The name of this material we're making is airship fuel, so we'll make 2 stabilized fires, and then just glue them together. In fact, we could make one of these machines and then simply duplicate it. Really thinking about it, how about we turn it into salt later? We just set this up with our classic, like, grab, turn, reset, grab, turn, reset. And then, at the end of it, we will have 2 fire. Then, we can bring in a 3rd arm to pick up here, spin this out, and, well, there we have it. We have our thing. We can even go a bit further, but before I do that, I'm going to copy this entire solution, move it over there. This will also copy it with the instructions, and boom, here's our other one. I've put them in 4 locations, but you can kind of see where they were trying to get to. Okay, so let's move this to the left. Maybe 1 out this way. There. Once you've run something through, at the last cycle, if you hold down 1, you can see where the elements ended up. You can kind of chart things out that way. So you can imagine a bond going in the middle. How about we do this all at once? A bond here, salt here, and salt there. So in one fell swoop, we have everything. Reset on these, reset on these. And then what? Maybe we can have a little piston arm move these out to the solution one step over. So in that case, it would be something like pick up, move, let go. Pretty good. There is something here. We've learned that by picking something up at a place where an element already was, we can continue we can like prepare to move it one cycle faster than waiting for the old one to let go. We can't do this here because all of the elements are moving into this arrangement at the same time. There's no pre-existing element to grab already. But what if we break the symmetry for a second? Because we've also seen that with triangle symmetry, a second move can be reset by simply letting go. So what if, instead of this whole thing, we instead let number 6 turn once more and then let go? That still keeps the cycle loop size at 4. And with triangle symmetry, we are fine to go. I'm also going to rotate this entire thing horizontally just because I think it looks nicer. Never mind, I'll keep it like this. This will change the orientation that this is into this, which is a little uglier. But it's fine. This should save us a cycle. And it did. Pretty good stuff. Someone got some really good cyclage here. I'm impressed. Pretty good on cost, all things considered. It can go lower, probably with a lot less arms. Just one arm doing all the work slowly over time. But for such a fast solution, to get a price this low is pretty good. Simple enough. Now the Van Tassen airship can take to the skies again. Sure, as long as we find someone to pilot it. Doesn't seem too complicated. How about me? How about Captain Gelt or Frederick? That's a disturbing thought. Maybe we should pretend the airship is still out of fuel. Oh dear, oh dear. What is it now? Apparently Armand arranged for Frederick to go on a date with a young lady from another house. Oh dear. And now I have to make some machine oil. You... what? For the observatory. Frederick tried to take her there, but everything was rusted solid. Of course. Even better, Clara, the young lady, is from House Soria. He was probably hoping to prove our observatory is just as good as theirs. Oh, she must have been tremendously impressed all around. Oh no, we have to solve a date crisis. Hey, we're back to the middle! Cool, so, the machine oil in question, precision machine oil in question, is 2 tin and a water to bond them. Makes sense? So this is going to be a bit more involved, and we're going to have to really lower our standards for speed here. Because we're going to have to get, like, 2 entire tins set up, and that's a bunch of, like, preceding steps here. Not too bad, though. But there will be a delay because we need to... well, actually, we can do full-bore production on the tin and simply wait on the water. So let's build a good old tin-making machine. How best to arrange this? How's about this? Destroy this, make this 1 and 2. Grab in reset. Grab in reset. And we can afford to do this twice. Meanwhile, grab in I have it backwards. My mistake. Oh no, I'm not doubling Quicksilver, I'm just making 2 lead. Oops. So in theory, we wait a cycle to do that. Then maybe we simulate another working arm by grab, move. Okay, let's just have it be as early as possible. Grab, move. Well, this one, let's go. Another arm can pick it up, ready to be worked with. Okay, yeah, I like that. So 3 and 4 is going to be a very simple, almost exact duplicate of 1 and 2. And again, they will work twice. 4, you are spinning the wrong way. So yeah, it makes it makes tin, and that would make tin 2, but we need some arms to liberate. Is that enough room? Too late. That is enough room, but it's not enough room to be enough room. Is this enough room? That is not enough room. But that, at least, is fixable using some rails. Instead of rotating the arm, we can slide the arm down and up. And that's enough room. My objective here, my kind of like motivation for this, is to be able to pick up the... So we don't need 2 of these, what am I thinking? Pick it up, and then with number 6, yeah, you can see it. Like, if we put the water right there, we have our thing. That doesn't actually help, though, because there's no, like, 3 long glyph of bonding. So I've mostly just done that for style, apparently. Oh, that's okay. There's ways and forms this can go. We naturally do need a glyph of bonding, though. But let's say we do it like this. Arm 5 turns over, and then maybe twists itself. Like, let's say the water's here. Arm 5 moves, get the tin. The water's here, it bonds. Then it twists to then get this bond here. Seems like it might be easier to do with the water. But I can't see a configuration. Maybe if this is the odd one out. Yeah, imagine if water is here. Do we grab it from here? But no, it would be twisted the wrong way. I think I'm just going to accept that we are not going to have a perfectly time-efficient solution here. And just get the basics down. Oops. We want 7 to actually wait until 5 is in position. That looks good. Now 5 can reset itself. It's oh, wait. What if we use 6 symmetry on 5? There's a chance we can get this in a 4 cycler. I like having things in a 4 cycler. So number 6 closes out here, which means this would be the time to grab it. Ooh. Wait a minute. Did you see that? I don't think we need army. I think it's good as is. Check this out. Because, yeah, it lets go to pick up the next tin to do the cool, like, big turnover, but at the same time, it's picking up what it just put down. And I didn't expect we'd be able to do this because, well, that means that we're using 5 to both pick it up, twist it, and then put it in the goal. But it works because it's doing it by repeating its old instructions earlier. That's good. One modification. This is not to make the solution any better. It is to make it prettier for me specifically. I would like Arm 2 to also be moving by track motion. This is technically a detriment because it means I'm now paying for the track, but I think it looks nicer. In fact, I'd go so far as to make number 7 also track-based. I don't know, I like the track. Maybe this is not surprising. We could do 3 and 4 as tracks as well. If you're so willing. Like this. Oh yeah, then that synergizes. Look at that. I just think it looks neat. Oh, look at that! Beautiful lockstep. Same cycles, it's a bit bigger and it's a bit more expensive, but I think it looks nice. Well, Frederick states that the observatory ought to go better now. Maybe he and Clara could have a do-over. I don't think it works like that. Do you see any other choices? For Clara Soria? I believe House Colvin has a young man around Frederick's age. Maybe that's what Armand trying to prevent, no? Quite likely. Pity he has only Frederick to work with. I can only play the game with the pieces he has. I think maybe we're being a little bit rude to Frederick here. Sigmar. Okay, so... it's got all of my record, but, like, every Zachtronics game past, like, Space Chem comes included with a solitaire-like game. Usually it is actually a solitaire with cards and stuff, but here, it's a bit more like Mahjong. We got a Sigmar's Garden, and I like it a lot. I'm actually surprised that when I wiped my save file to do this stream, it actually kept my Sigmar status. I appreciate it. It means that I don't have to play the game 100 more times, but I will play them more freehand. Maybe we can get this up to like 128 over the course of the series, I don't know. Seeing your transmutation engine in action is giving me fond memories of playing Sigmar's Garden. Sigmar's what? You never played Sigmar's Garden. I thought everyone knew this game. You put the marbles in a certain pattern and... Marbles? Isn't that what these are? They're elemental proxies, glass spheres that represent various types of atoms. Little glass spheres are commonly known as marbles. We never call them marbles. To anyone who's not a highly trained alchemist, that's what they are. Now, why don't you give Sigmar's Garden a try? Fine, I suppose. Alright, let's play it and give the experience. So, basically, much like, not like actual Mahjong, but like Mahjong Solitaire, you have all of the different elements just sort of placed on the grid, and you need to collect pairs of them together in order to solve, like, in order to clear them off the board. Your objective is to empty the entire board. There are particular rules in how this goes. For the cardinal elements, your water, earth, air, and fire, you need to select them and another of the same element to clear both of them. For the metals, you need to go up the spiral of refinement. You have to start with lead, combine it with a quicksilver, then combine the tin with quicksilver, then combine the iron with quicksilver, then the copper, then the silver, and then once all that's left is a singular gold, you can just take that off the board. That's why it's in the middle. There are also the Vita and Mort elements, which we have not experienced in the regular game, but here we basically just pair them up with opposites. One Vitae, one Mors, they will clear themselves. Finally, there is a rule about which ones you are allowed to actually select for pairing. You can see that most of these have been sort of like faded out. That's because you are only allowed to select a marble for pairing if there is at least one side of it that has 3 clear open spaces. So, like, half of it has to be open and all of that half has to be on one side. So for here, let's take this fire, for example. This fire cannot be cleared because it doesn't have, like, a full half 3 empty cells next to it. It only has 2. This earth only has 1. This air has 3 because it's on the edge of the board and it's like just empty space out in the middle of nowhere. So we can select these 6 at the edge, and our goal is to clear some so that we get room to find others to use. You may be wondering, wait a second, exception, I didn't talk about the salts. Or you may be thinking, wait a second, exception, we don't have any air to pair with this air or earth to pair with this earth. Quicksilver can't touch any of the metals because we don't see any, and these two can't delete themselves. How do we proceed? The salt operates as a wild card. They can be paired with any of the cardinal elements, but be careful. If you accidentally use the salt in an improper way, you will be left with an odd number of cardinal elements later and will not be able to win. So we gotta be careful when we're choosing what to salt. I'm looking at the air, and if we clear it, we will get 2 earth to clear immediately. That's pretty good. But that would give us an odd number of air. We could clear this air, and this earth, that would give us the air to work with here and a fire. Salt's also giving us a fire and an air here. I think our best move... We'll give fire, that with fire, that with fire. That would give us access to lead, which is important. But going this way to give us access to the salt. I think I will, as our first move, combine this salt with this air. Now, it has alerted us down here that be careful, we are at an odd number of air. We need to use another salt to delete another air, or we will be stuck with an odd number of salt at the end of the game. But we at least have another step we can do. At this point, we need to be moving ourselves towards just cascading solutions. I would very much like to get rid of this Quicksilver, which is only done by unveiling the 1 lead on the board, which is here. So my priority right now would be to get rid of this fire. We could get rid of that fire by either deleting this fire, which we could get to by pairing this off, or maybe use this fire over here. This would also get us this air, which could clear that, etc., etc. So I think we also need to look out for the morts. There's one here which we can't get to until we clear a mort somewhere else. I think our best bet would be this one that we're clearing by the water. Or we can make some space here, try and unlodge this earth, which will happen. We can then clear up the 4 earths that we're working with here, then carve our way into that mort. That'll give us a water we could use over here. I like this plan. So, I'm going to take this earth, clear it with... this earth. I'm going to take this air, clear it with this air, and this fire, clear it with... let's go this fire. We have dislodged the lead. And because there's only 1 lead, getting rid of it is just like a net gain to society. We don't have to worry about proper move orders or anything. There is a question of what Quicksilver to use, but we have a very, very clear choice. We have to get rid of this Quicksilver, very likely, before we can even reach this copper. So I'm going to just do it now. Now that we've cut into the second layer, we can get this earth to combine with this earth. Then this water can combine with other things. And now we need to start thinking carefully. If we clear this water at all, this water will clear up, so we can just pair those all. And I think that puts us in a good position. We now have a mort to work with. I am worried about our lack of second earth. But just looking at the chain here, we do this mort. Yeah, Morse. We do this Morse to this Vitae. We'll get this Morse to use. Which we could do to that Vitae or just the one next to it, but can't really get to it until this one's gone anyway. So I think this will clear us up some cardinal keys as well. So pair that, pair that. Okay. There's a pair of airs on the board. We clear those, we get access to iron, but we still need to clear tin. Tin would be cleared with fire. I'm going to pick this one and this one to unlock this Quicksilver. Clearing out this fire wouldn't really do anything for us, so we'll take that one out. Now we have things to do. I'm going to clear out this Quicksilver with the tin so that it will also unlock the iron for us to Quicksilver out immediately. So now iron's unlocked. We have a Quicksilver here and here. There's also this silver one. This will probably have to be the silver one. It's buried pretty deep. So iron and copper are out. That gives us the other earth. And I see no problem with using it. I see a problem. Silver is buried deep. Our only hope of getting it dislodged is to remove this water and this earth. Otherwise, we'd have to go the long way. We do have another Vita Mortis on the table. This isn't doing anything. This is blocking 2 fires. Let's clear that. We can use the water on itself. That would clear the earth for deletion. Though it also puts us in a precarious situation with waters. But there's only 4 waters left. So I say we clear that. We can go with that earth, but we want the Morse off the table. We do this, we get the Quicksilver and the silver off the board, we get access to that water. That water can go with that water, which we can clear off by just using a salt somewhere. I think this is okay. Do that. There are no more Vita and Morse on the table. There are 2 earths on the table, there are 2 waters on the table. We can pair off some air. If I clear these salts, this earth can go. This air is the final one we can do with the final salt. So just, you can even pair the salts together. Pair the salts together. Clear the earth. Clear the air. Final salt goes in the final air. Final fires. Final fires. Final waters. Quicksilver, 2 silver, and finally gold. You don't have to have gold be the last thing you remove, but it does make you feel cool when it is. Nice. Win 112. Let's put up a new game and read while we do so. Fun, isn't it? This is not at all how alchemy works. The cardinal elements, for example, is just a little amusement, Anateus. When we were children, we used to sneak in here and play it when the alchemist was away. What? You were totally unsupervised near the transmutation engine? We only use the marbles, Anateus. Calm yourself. They're not marbles, they're representations of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. They're also little glass spheres. I'll flick one at you. Stop it! You can't play with delicate equipment like this. They're far cheaper than the rest of your kit, you know. Being that they are marbles. I'd still appreciate if you didn't treat them so casually. Well, we did it for years. You really had no idea about Sigmar's Garden? Not at all. Why would the university bother to teach something so frivolous? Okay, so I'm not going to do win 10 games, but I will win a game and then do more progress. We don't have to go far. And I like Sigmar's Garden. Okay. We get the earths there, the waters are cleared up, we got some airs to clear up. clearing this water would be required for that air, but it's not a major deal. The Vita is blocking the Quicksilver, but we're already drowning in Quicksilver. Where's lead? There's lead. We need to do some good work here. Okay, there's some iron blocking deletion this way, Quicksilver blocking deletion this way. So our best bet to get to that is to clear up this pile right here. So that's going to be my priority. This is not blocking anything. This is not blocking anything. None of these waters are load-bearing. But we do need an earth or a salt. There's a salt. We have to dig deep for it. Oh, we're going to get that earth anyway. That's fine. In that case, clear out these airs. Clear out these waters, I suppose. We double this earth, and now we have access. As long as we can clear this air out, we'll be good. And we can clear that air out by using this salt. It's the only thing of reasonable... It's the only reasonable possibility left. But we can clear that. More Vita and more on the table. If we plan on clearing that out, we need to clear this out to reach it. So do... Sure. We're going to be able to... If we can get to the lead, we can get to the tin. So this one's a bit more load-bearing. Then we can use this saving salt to get us to lead, and now we can start cutting through the metals blocking our way. But we got to remember, we got to unsalt that air. So we have access to lead and tin. Next up would be iron, which is also available. Copper is also available. Silver, not so much. So we can get 4 of these Quicksilvers off the board immediately. This one is not load-bearing, especially if this fire is going to be used somewhere else. So we'll keep this Quicksilver, use the rest. Now we have stuff to work with. Okay, so there are... It seems like that Vita is going to be a bit of a dig, but we need to get to the silver somehow. Best path would be... clear off this and yeah, just clear off the bottom. Save for the Quicksilver, but we can carve around the Quicksilver. Let's clear out the fires. Get rid of that fire, gets us access to this water. We need to be careful. We need to get rid of the Vitae, but on what? We can either unseal an air in a load-bearing location or a salt in a less load-bearing location. But with our goal to be to get to the... I see a path to unseal this Vita by going through this route. We clear out both of these waters, then use this Vita and this Morse to get these 2 airs out, which will get these 2 fires out, which will get this earth to go to this earth. Then we can clear both of these fires next to each other, getting us this Vita to this Morse. It also gives us free reign on a bit of salt over here, which we can then use to get through the silver on this side. I'm going to go for it. Look at that. These waters, these airs, these fire, that earth, these fires, that. Then we're clear on the water. As seen before, we are on an odd number of airs, so if we salt these, we can get these earths out of the way. That gives us silver, and now we're home free. Great. For something so frivolous, you do seem to be rather enjoying yourself. Maybe a little. Some strategies to pick up on. Yes, you can win more reliably with a bit of practice and attention. So who was Sigmar? Why am I clearing his garden? You tell me. Me? How would I know? Because he was an alchemist from long ago, wasn't he? I've never heard of anyone named Sigmar. You're quite certain? It's possible he was one of those apocryphal folk hero alchemists. Imaginary, in other words. Or it's possible you didn't pay attention in your history courses. Please, I was a model student. Alright, next one on the board. So, I'm already seeing double air. I like that. Double fire, I like that. That would give us water. That also unlocks lead. Quicksilver's on the board. Tin is right there. More Quicksilver to be found. We can either unseal the earth or unseal the air. We are needing to go to iron after this. I got a Vita on the board. We can get to iron easily, but just swapping that in. Then copper is the important thing. Let's do that. Just priming for the metal decay. Where's our next Quicksilver? We have this one, we have that one, probably. And that'll be done with the earth, okay. So get tin off the board, get iron off the board. Next Quicksilver is here. Now we get copper off the board. Next Quicksilver after that is a bit of a dig. But not too bad. I think it's important we just get the spokes of the wheels away. So all that's left is silver and that Quicksilver. They must pair. We must get to them. Got a Morse, there are Vita on deck. The Vitas are actually in really, really catastrophically difficult positions. Okay, yeah. We must... Yeah. We must get to this Quicksilver. And we can never get rid of the gold before we get rid of the Quicksilver, which means the only 3-space gap we could make requires getting rid of this, which requires getting rid of this, which requires getting rid of this. This must go. But this needs a Vita. And the only 3 Vitas on the board are here, blocked by silver and gold, here, blocked by silver and gold, and this. This is our link. Get rid of that. Get in. Get. Oh, this stinks. We are going to need to start salting stuff. But that's... Okay. Tactical salt to get the Quicksilver. Free the fire. Silver's off the board. Use this... No, use this salt. It doesn't matter. Use this salt here. Clear this. Get this water out, clear this. We now have gold off the board, and now we can start cutting in from the bottom. We are on parity with our elements, so just pair off, open things up, and go. Nice. I think I'm pretty good at Sigmar's Garden, if I do say so myself. Model student indeed. First you didn't know Sigmar's Garden, and now it turns out you've never heard of Sigmar either. We haven't even established that he was real. Go research it in a library then. Surely you'll find something interesting. I suppose I could... Wait, did you just give me an order? For someone who specializes in alchemy, you're oddly resilient to learning more about its path. Resistant. They're synonyms. Don't get off my back. That kind of subject matter was frowned upon at the university. There were a few specialists in the histories and legends, but the serious students focused on modern practice. Nobody thinks there's much reason to dwell in the past. That's a shame. When people who aren't alchemists think about alchemy, they think of the old stories. It would be good to be familiar with them, at least. I'm afraid those old stories don't always give a very positive view of the field. It varies, certainly. For now, I think I'll just play some more. A perfectly acceptable choice. Okay. Boom. Neum. Okay, this one's looking a little tricky. We have to do a salt right off the bat. So the salt use will free the fire, which we could then pair with that fire or that fire. Salt here gives us another salt, which... Earth is in short supply, but going here would give us air and a vitae, would give us a morse, would give us a... this is going to be a difficult break-in. Even lead is buried deep. Oh boy. Okay, I'm looking at this. This is actually pretty bad. We do need to start. We need to carve in from here. There's no other direction to go. Iron and copper are blocking the way from this direction. The only way we could possibly get it clear is if we get rid of this earth. So we need to work backwards from that. So our ultimate goal is to clear that earth, which requires us to clear either this air or this air and this earth. Problem with that is there's a quicksilver right here, which we need to keep in space because we can't get rid of it because lead's in the way. And if that's true, then we either must come in from this side or we have to skirt around the edge, get rid of both of these vitae, which is actually possible. These moors are very accessible. We just clear this salt, clear this fire, and then we're in. So we can clear the salt some way. This fire can go with a fire over here. Vitamorse, we have an air suddenly. That can clear out to get that salt, which we need... Oh, no. No, we can't just go from one singular direction. We must clear this air. This air must be cleared. And we can't do that from this side. We must come in from the other side as well. Which means this salt must go. This whole arrangement here needs to be cut into. And that's going to require... Because this vita... Well, this morse is here. Oof. Well, okay, actually, it's not that bad. Taking this salt and this fire, which we have to do anyway, we'll get rid of this earth for here. That gives us water. More importantly, it opens this up. Water is in short supply, though. Air's gonna go to that air. Where's the nearest? There's some air up. There's some water here, blocking more vitae. A lot of vitae. Vitamorse. Third one can be cleared. We will need water. Okay, I'm looking through all our options here, and I think my answer is to salt the earth. Then we can clear this fire. That fire will be reserved for that, probably. We can then Vitae Morse. That gives us another air and earth to pair here. Then this air can clear that air, this air can clear that air, and we have another salt to work with. This water can then be cleansed. This fire can then be cleared. Okay, we're getting some materials. The moment we get access to that lead, we are in a very, very good position. But I think we need to salt this water. We cannot go further. We need this clear, and we need this clear. Then this air can go there, and then the earth can be salted by this salt. Air. We can get a Vitamorse off the board, and that could actually save us a salt for a second. I am hesitating. This, we need to care about our salt supply. This salt. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. No. Oh, yes. This is a problem. It's not a problem. This earth can go here. We then salt this earth. We are now back on parity. The last remaining salt must be used on a water. This air goes here. Okay. Now we panic. I believe we have lost. Final salt must be used on a water. That's the best we can do, and we are out of options. New game. And that's what losing looks like. Well, this start doesn't seem particularly complicated. We can pair some fires. We can pair some Vitamort. Want an air. This salt is pretty load-bearing, and it gets us to our lead. Let's get the earth off the board. That'll give us some more water to clean. Some fire. There's some... Oh, this is a lot of good air. The major air. Earth off the board. That gets us another air. Here's some water. And now we are stuck. Our only move left is to either salt water or salt air. I really don't want to salt air because we just do air with the Quicksilver here. To salt that, there's our lead. Quicksilver, lead, Quicksilver, tin. Air out. Earth. We then clear out this salt, gets us that Vita, and this Quicksilver. We need that Vita to get rid of that Morse to get to the iron. So salt, water conveniently rebalances us. Vitamort here, it hurts to do, but it's actually fine. Because we will get iron and copper. Then it's just a matter of cleaning out our water. There's our silver. We have a problem. We must use the salt now. There is no other option. Then salt the other earth, then we get the fires, and then we get the gold. There we go. So when you play this as children, Van Tassen's alchemists never objected to having a bunch of kids running around the lab. They never knew we were there. Surely they'd noticed the elemental proxies thrown everywhere, the marbles, as you like to call them. The Van Tassen alchemists before you barely set foot at the alchemy lab. That's some joke. Not at all. I think they look down on actual alchemy and saw themselves as more as part of the family's inner circle. Ridiculous. They'd advanced their agendas, involved themselves in alliances and intrigues, undercut rivals. My professor pointedly advised me to avoid all that. I agree with your professor. I don't like that conniving sort of person. You must be used to her advice going unheeded. Quite likely, believe it or not, you're the first alchemist I've met who truly focuses on alchemy. Alright. We got like 2 more to go. Bing. Bank. Bonk boink. Big Bill. Okay, welcome to the problem zone. Where's lead? There's lead, there's tin. So I'm thinking we salt... Oh wait, hold on, I got water to do. That opens up some future options. Okay. Salt the earth. Quicksilver unlocking tin. We got 2 Quicksilvers. We'll unlock iron for free. Now we just need to get to copper. Any more quicksilvers on the perimeter? No, so we're gonna have to dig. There's one here, but that's gonna be unlikely to use the copper. This one's probably the copper. We could take some Vitamorphs off of the board. Might be a bit preemptive. We do need to salt another earth at some point. There's silver. Let's do some dehydrating. The minimum. Yeah, I think I am content. Oh wait, we can just do Vitamort there, then that's copper off the board. Silver's right there, so we need to dig for that. Do that with this fire and this earth. Silver, and now it's just gold. So, what's left? Getting rid of these airs, we'll get rid of these fires, we'll get rid of these airs. I think Vitamort can be wiped from the board completely. The only thing here is to make sure that we salt these to clear the earth. To salt the earth is our last step, and then get the gold. So who was it who originally taught you the game? My father. He was a provision or two in better times than these. And I suppose someone taught him as a child as well, and it was passed down in that manner. But why though? What's the use of preserving this knowledge? It's good for taking one's mind off troubles, isn't it? I suppose. In fact, I specifically suggested it because I can tell you've been under quite a bit of strain lately. You can? I hadn't realized it was showing so clearly. It was rather obvious. I see. In times like these, it can help to put one's mind in service of a simple activity. Otherwise, it will wander to other, larger, more frightening thoughts. I suppose I do find the game rather relaxing after a fashion. Glad to hear it. Okay, final round. At least in terms of my self-imposed rule of giving you the lore. Well, we got some double earth we can do there. Now it's a question of what airs to put on. I say we do those. We can either clear up this quicksilver, this fire is... There's a lot of fire to unseal here, but not for much service. It gets us some earth, I suppose. There is our lead. But fire is in bountiful supply as long as we know where to look. Lead can go off the board, but where's our tin? Tin's on the edge, or where's our quicksilver? There's one here. That'll do. As long as we get the air to clear it. I don't think we can get the air to clear it. It's a bit out of the way. We might have to salt for it. We got plenty of salt to do so now, though. As for this quicksilver, we may as well make use of it. Got some Vitamors we can do. Now here's a question. Salt air or salt water? Either one unlocks the quicksilver, but I'm leaning towards salt water because it would also, upon getting the quicksilver, unlock the copper. Not that it helps too much, we've got a lot of digging. I think we've already lost. Which is wild to think about. Because look, in order to unseal this iron, we need to make a 3 space somewhere. It would... Oh, wait, hold on. There might be a way out of this. No, there isn't. No, there ain't. Oh my... Wow, no. Oh, no, we can't. So, after the tin would be this iron. It's blocked by the gold, so we need to either clear these 3 or these 3. Either one requires clearing this fire, which means we need to take out the copper, which we can't because iron comes first, or this air. This air needs either these 2 to be cleared or these 2 to be or these 3 to be cleared. Either way requires this quicksilver to be removed, but we can't remove it if we don't use it on this tin. But we can't use it on this tin because there's no way to get to it otherwise. We'd have to get rid of this earth, which... This is wild. But maybe we can get to it. And then we salt the earth, and wow, we are still in there. Okay. Fire's out. Water's out. We can Vitamorph this, and I'd be glad to. Next up is going to require some careful salt use. We only have 3 salts left, and we've already used 1 on Earth. I think we need to salt fire. Okay, now we've lost. I'm pretty confident. Because if we salt the air, it gives us nothing. Because we can't get access to the 3rd salt. We need to get rid of this fire. Get this iron. Which means we need this around, which means we can't salt it. But if we just salt the salt, we're stuck because we need to salt the earth. So... we're done. Salt fire, salt the earth, clear this air. We do everything we can. Vitamorph, and now we're stuck. Wow, okay. Tricky, tricky, tricky. We were locked out very early on. Okay, we got Vitamorphs here. There's tin. There's lead. We can get through if we got a Vita on the side. This unlocks a metal. This unlocks Vita. This unlocks salt. It must be this, but what's the second one we take? How many white aids on the border? If we take that, then we need to... This fire is only blocking silver. That would not help us. So I'm going to salt the earth. And then I'm going to salt the earth again immediately. Give us some breathing room. And these earths can go, and now we have a Vita to pair with the Mort. That clears out the fire, that clears out this air. We now have access to that water, so now we can Quicksilver the lead. We could maybe Quicksilver the tin immediately. I'm going to hold off on that for a second, though. Where's iron? There's iron, so it's just a matter of getting more Quicksilvers on the board. Best way to do... Oh, yep, there's one right there. So... Salt, tin, salt, iron, I suppose. We can unlock the pair of fire here, but it can't go much further. We're gonna have to do some digging regardless. Clear those fires, clear that water, gets this earth, gets these air. Another Vitamort gets us to copper, which we can Quicksilver, and then Vitamort again to clear this fire. Earth's off the board, water's off the board, air's off the board. Transmute gold victory. Fantastic. Concordia, thank you for suggesting this game. As it turns out, I do like it. You're welcome, Ataeus. It makes me happy to see you're enjoying it, especially after you called it frivolous at first. But it is frivolous. It's just good at being that. It's good to learn about things that aren't alchemy, don't you think? There's no point. This little game just happens to be an exception to the rule. Hey! Sorry. You spent your life up to now dedicated to becoming an alchemist. But now that you are one, you should learn the rest. The rest? The rest of life. The parts that aren't about alchemy, I mean the useless parts. You'll simply have to allow me to be your instructor in those matters. Well, lie now. Sounds like you aren't giving me any choice. That's something I like about you, Anatheus. You know when you don't have a choice. Alright, back to our actual job. Health tonic. Do you know exactly how old Armand is? Both he and the lady are rather advanced in age, and Frederick is the only possible heir. As Armand's only surviving grandson, he would be difficult to oppose. There are some other claimants from distant branches of the family, but they're weak. What brought this on? Promise not to tell anyone, but I was asked to make a tonic to assist in regulating an irregular heartbeat. Oh, Armand. Hopefully he set up everything for an orderly succession of power after he's gone. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I do intend to keep him healthy. Let's keep him healthy. So, we are being introduced to Vitae. Pretty much in a vacuum, though. We shouldn't really be considering it anything other than just another element to work with. But we can see it now, in action, in the field, and so we won't be scared of it later. So it looks like we are taking some classic distilled water and turning it into a health tonic. That just means slapping some Vitae on the edge. Let's not overcomplicate this. I'm going to go for speed, but not in speed of the actual solution, but just making this quick. Just make the solution, solve the puzzle quickly. Because this is a medical emergency. We got to make sure we are doing good triage. So I'm going to do this the absolutely dead simplest way I can think of, in the interest of getting this to Armand as fast as we can. So let's just grab plus wreath that. That's completely taken care of. And is there some coordinated position here that we can serve both locations? Yes, this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then we are going to... Let's start from 3. In, reset. Right, reset. And then we will have the solution. It will look like this. There's not much clearance for me to get the solution out, truthfully. I'll go like this. Something like this, perhaps. Bit of a squeeze. Let's see if it works. Too fast. Or too slow. Too late. One's already on the move again. In that case, let's say we can't lift it up. So let's say here. I worry this will hit arm 2. It didn't hit arm 2. We're safe. Okay, that's a reasonably fast solution. Pretty fast, actually. It's going on the 4-cycle system, so I doubt there's much faster that could be theoretically done. And we solved it in, not very much real time. So hopefully Armand can be healthy as a result of this. There, that should do it. One healthy-ish patriarch for the House Van Tassen, as ordered. Long live the patriarch, Armand. Yeah, long live, I guess. You don't seem particularly enthusiastic. I do think it's good if he stays alive. After all, he pays for everything around here. You do well to show a little more appreciation for your house. Yeah, that's true. You really shouldn't be you should appreciate your benefactors list a little bit. A little boost at the necessary time. What are you on about? A little boost at the necessary time is how he put it. Who put what? Armand is worried about Frederick. Rightly so, I would say. Particularly, he wonders if Frederick will be able to produce an heir. I'm to make him a potion that will give him a boost at the necessary time. I get it. It's not so unusual, really. Stamina potions have long been used for such purposes. It's not making it that's the issue for me, it's thinking about it. You should know better than to use your imagination in cases like this. Okay. So, we have water and an intent to make iron. Okay. Oh, it all seems pretty symmetric. Naive solution would probably be something like, okay, glue the thing on, like turn this into iron, glue this on it, and then spin it 180 degrees, put the other water on, and you're good. And we may as well pursue that. Well, okay, there are two elements to this, I suppose. One is making the iron. That's going to require 2 quicksilver. Not that bad. Let's just make a separate quicksilver machine over here. Unless we want to do... No, we don't want to do it because we need the space in the middle for the bonding. Okay. Little quicksilver machine it is. I'm not really sure what the medical benefits are of ingesting iron. Probably good. Makes you, like, strong. Gives you strong bones. Maybe. It would give your bones some metal. And there's like carbon in like bodies, so like maybe it turns into steel. That's a way it could work, maybe. Okay, so interestingly here, the quicksilver and the water would both be the bottleneck for like a perfect solution here. Because you need 2 quicksilvers for 1 iron, and you need 2 waters for the final product. So let's start setting this up as if it's like our hypothetical daily doubler. I suspect in that case we would imagine an ideal solution to have a cycle length of maybe 6. Can I delay it so far? No. But I do need to wait. No avoiding that. Well, once it's time to go, we say slap it over here and then we can get to bonding. Go with the basic list. Yeah, so there's our iron as ordered. We get the water in. We're gonna have to get the water in from 2 separate directions. This is again pretty vertical. Let's tilt the machine a bit. Yeah, okay. So iron's being made. A tricky bit in all of this is actually just like the physical challenge of rotating the second water 180 degrees. But I think with enough work, we can build an assembly line for it. So I want to bring in the first water early because I want to use the opportunity to grab it with a different arm. I'm really wondering how we're going to Maybe like this. It's just that the actual literal water... There's some potential here. This, and then maybe slide it over laterally. We may need to sacrifice our perfect throughput. I'm not seeing an easy way, just because of the space required. Try it though. That's pretty clean. But now we're dealing with actual Arm 5 getting in the way. I've got a little bit of a wild idea. What if we like conveyor belt this starting now? Grab. You immediately turn left. You don't have time to let go. We rotate the machine here. Coming at a different angle. Yeah, that's not good. Yep, forget that then. Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice our hyperspeed solution here. We don't have the room. We do not have the room. And funnily enough, that makes things easier. So we do that, and then we can... This salt would need to go here. That's a... This salt would need to go here. That's doable by like a really long arm. Let's say right after 5 picks up, we do a little twist, twist, and then turn. 5, you just wait for a second. Oh, you know what? Never mind. We can just turn first. As long as it's not there yet. So that looks good in that we have it. But bad in that it has nowhere to go. The reset will give us an extra space to work with. We have time. All is done. Like oh, I was mistaken. I'm picking up from the middle. In that case, we can do that. Oh, no, we can't. Now we can. Okay, not the most perfect thing ever, but it gets done. Pretty good cyclage, better cyclage than I bothered to do in the past. I hope Frederick enjoys that potion. Ugh. Armand must believe Frederick's marriage is close at hand. Really? Really? Will it be the young lady from House Soria? Just speculating. Oh, exciting! The city would celebrate for days! The union of House Van Tassel and House Soria. As provisioner, you'd have a lot of work to do. Yes, but it would be for a wedding. It would be quite fun. You arranged the party in the streets, I arranged the party in the sheets. Oh dear. Yes, well... Anatias, why did you say that? Ooh, hey! Violent. That's when I decided we need to re-inventory everything in the building. You should have seen the look on our man's face. Anatias, are you paying attention? That's a question. What? You're moping. I am not moping. I am merely moodily dejected. And what has the great alchemist of House Van Tassel so moodily dejected? Nothing. I mean, I'm thinking about why I'm here. You're here because you're our alchemist. I mean the larger sense. The alchemist, isn't he? Captain Gill, what can I do for you? Your presence is required in the main hall. It's a matter of some urgency. What happened? An aggressive move from another house has taken us by surprise. We need to respond immediately. My alchemy is at your disposal. You almost sound excited. I am! Finally, something significant is happening. Okay, we are at some war, possibly. Cool. Alchemical Engineering Theory and Practice 50th edition. Man, they've been working at that for a while, huh? Looking forward to 51st edition. Alchemy is the highest art. Its practitioners guide the course of humanity. Throughout the ages, alchemists have steered society, advised kings and queens, and otherwise shaped the world around them. By choosing to dedicate your life to the study of alchemical engineering, you have taken the first step towards becoming a steward of this supreme knowledge and a guardian of its illustrious history. How very poetic. Okay, so I'm just trying to like chart out how much we should be doing per thing. The further levels are going to be harder, and I just want to know how to best partition. A chapter border seems like the best way. There are 6 of them, including the production alchemy. Charting out here. Today is... Well, let me just check my my numbers here. Let's see, we have, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on, I gotta include today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we do 1 chapter per stream, we would finish the main campaign And then instead of doing production alchemy, we could go straight into Dere Metallica. I don't know if I trust we can do that. I would like to just get through these early chapters faster, even if it means I'm streaming a little bit longer today. So. There's our man we've heard so much about. Oh, Scorvin? That's unfortunate. I will have to lodge a formal protest. Shall I begin developing weapons for a counterattack? Something like a flame grenade with... I doubt that would be necessary. It's not uncommon for houses to renegotiate terms this way. But they've taken over multiple buildings of ours without any resistance. They'll stop pushing forward soon and attempt to reinforce the new borders. That's how it goes with this sort of thing. We should push back at this, though. Oh, sorry, that's Armand. Actually, hold on. I'm going to reset because there's a few lines that I'm not actually sure if I was hearing the correct person. Let me just... Yeah, okay. Doubt that'll be necessary, but they've taken over. They'll stop. That's how it goes. Okay, yeah, so I was right up to this point. We should push back at least a little bit. We wouldn't want to look weak after all. I'll execute a limited rearguard action with forces stationed in the area. That's all? Listen. House Colvin doesn't want a full-on battle any more than we do. We'll trade a few streets and that should be the end of it. I believe young Taros Colvin is the head of the family now. Likely he is keen to test our response. I will send a message to him and we will settle this like honorable houses. Taros, he was a bright boy. Yes, I'm sure he'll listen to reason. Okay, so. Time to put on a show. This is not the best use of my time. Patriarch has personally requested it. That doesn't change anything. As heir, Frederick must make a public appearance in the battle, otherwise it may be a problem for the family's honor. I get that part. It's the part about his hair needing to be styled perfectly that I don't understand. This is a war! Precisely. That's why his hair gel needs to be extra strong. Do you even understand what I'm saying right now? This is how the houses work, Anates. The way things look is very important. Maybe even more important than the way things are. I'm starting to learn that, yes. Okay, let's make some hair gel. It's just a bunch of earth in a trench coat. So this should not be difficult at all. We can make a trivial solution fairly easily. I think this might be a fun puzzle for getting the minimum solution area. I think something like this should be nice. So let's just get to work here. Double right, reset, pick up another one, bond it, move it over, reset, pick up a third one, move it over, reset, pick up, move over. Now we have a full 4 that's going to be here, 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 and here. Held on by this side. If we let go over here and maybe just do that. So let go, move over right. Three, and then grab and then twist and then let go. I think that should get it in. And then for style, put that there. I think it's a normal practice to just use the glyph of equilibrium in empty spaces to make it look cool. Nice. You might be thinking, hey, what if you used the 6 symmetry to like pick up, move over, let go, pick up, and keep going? That would be fine for just the assembly, but not for twisting the solution out, because we would not have a way to pick up only one edge for convenient twisting. So it is beyond us, but we have a very, very low area solution. In fact, we are triple tied for low area solution with at least my friends list. My friends list is pretty small and does not include a lot of people that I am friends with in the normal sense. I've tried to like cut down on friends listing just because I don't want to get into like too much of parasocial behavior, but I do have to like, you know, befriend my coworkers and stuff. As you can see here, we got Pianui. Might not be clear from the name, but that is Rose, and then we have Cola. I went to continue editing instead of leaving. Alright, we got the hair gel. This ought to keep Frederick's hair solidly in place, even if he wanders into a cyclone. Excellent. I'll have this sent to his personal staff immediately. He is hoping his well-styled hair helps him in the battle. He won't enter the fight, that would be madness. He just needs to be put out in the street for a little while so people see him. Will he make a little speech or something? Probably best if he doesn't. He will hold up his sword. That should be enough to inspire the soldiers. I'll take your word for it. Rocket fuel! Alright, now we're making weapons. Shouldn't they have stayed their attack by now? Perhaps they needed a little more prompting. I had the rockets brought out of storage, but much of the propellant has leaked away. When was the last time they were used? Long before either of you were born. Well, it's no problem. I'll just make a new propellant. I'm certain that'll be more powerful than what you've had before anyway. Aren't we sanguine today? I got myself my sanguine schemes. Okay, so this looks a lot like the airship fuel, except slightly wider. And instead of getting 3 of these, we're getting 2. Ain't that funny? Okay, so it seems like we're just going to make a big old thing. And I think I would like to assembly line some cool thing with tracks, just because I think it would look cool. So, tricky bit here is we are going to have it flayed like this. Maybe we could separate this into parts. I'm not going for speed here, I'm going for style. Forgot you could do that. Yeah, I kind of want to, like, invoke the philosophies of parallelization. You could imagine a very modular solution of the form I am about to give it. So, let's see here. Pick up. Up, up, return. Pick up, up, return. Pick up, up. Well, this one could technically return immediately. Also, it occurs to me I made that a little. No harm in making this final step a little simpler. No, I think I do actually want it to look cool, thank you. I will do the full triple. I think that even, like, assuming we don't make the system any longer, that would be perfectly... Like, that's a perfect cycle. Doot, 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 doot. Like, it's good. Okay, so in that case, I do not want to make the cyclage any longer. But, at this point... Oh, that's going to be a problem. This perfect cycle is going to ruin us. Because, again, there's no point where it stops moving. That's not a problem if we bring our own salt. I got that. Okay. So if at this moment too early. Okay, we want what will eventually be the salt to move in right at the movement and then move out instantly. That gets us the timing we want. And in fact, I don't think I want to turn it that way. I think I want to twist it in. Because I think that'll put us in a better position for, well, like, assembly lining the salt out. In fact, let's start this. No. One of the complications is that we need to get the salt to both sides of it. feel as if part of the solution can be it having already been there. This is also a good tool for measuring whether you have clearance to put a mechanism somewhere. Like I could put something here. It could take the... I could, at some free moment, take one of these fires. First off, I need to see if the... arm up here, remove the salt there. Well, the 2B salt. Salt in work. Ooh, I didn't think about that. Well, no, that's not a problem as long as we get it out of the way. Or we just do that. Arm 6 can maybe... Wait a second. Arm 6 cannot wait a second. If it lets go and we moves immediately, we may have a chance to get this thing out of there. Too early. Oh, that was my problem. Number 5, what do you... Oh, you never got a reset command. That's fine. Hi, fix. Well, I'm immediately seeing at least 2 problems. It collides with that element, which is currently well on its way to going here. This may not be resolvable. Unless... having 7 do that, we'll have 8. No, we don't have time to pick it up. It has to be 7. 7 goes that way. What if 7 twists? Oh, that is so close. The problem is thick. The problem is where it's putting the fire. And the fact that we're exhausting ways to get it there. Oh, forget this. I have a better idea. Turn 7 that way, please. Seven can go much earlier now. That's good. Problem here. The problem here is that 5 no longer needs to exist. Now, how in the world do we solve this problem? I see it. Something like this. How about here? Even worse. How about here? Equally bad. Okay. But here, but shorter. I'm surprised that worked. I think those places are free for the taking. We have room to make a bigger machine. We're not working on the 4 cycle. No! Wait, it doesn't matter. Just put that there instead. Smooth moves. And then I suppose we can just put it away. That should be it. Alright, not bad. Pretty good cycling. This is actually much better cycling than I've ever done. It's clear we've gotten to the point where I haven't tried to optimize every single solution I've ever done. I'm eager to see how the rockets perform. The din and smoke is always quite a sight. A rocket barrage should give them a good fright. Was that a poem? I hope it convinces them to stop advancing. Oh yeah, they'll regret not stopping earlier. It's taken us long enough to organize this response. But, now that we have, the full might of House Van Tassen will bear down on them. That will put a stop to their advance. Hey! Wait, the airship dock is lost now too? I thought we were pushing them back. Seems they're moving quite fast. Faster than we anticipated. This is absurd. Don't we outnumber them? We do, but if this keeps happening, won't we lose the war? Come now, it's hardly a war. Then what is it? I've explained it. It's best understood as, say, a kind of diplomacy. This is absurd. I'll do it then. I'll ensure that House Pulvin regrets every building they take. Cool. We are making 2 products. Interesting. We are making Mist of Incapacitation Part B and Mist of Incapacitation Part A. We got some air, quicksilver, and lead to do it. Seems like the goal is to... But we're going to need 2 air, 2 quicksilver, and 1 lead. 2 of the airs are going to be for 2 of the outputs. 2 quicksilvers, 1 to bond with an air, and 1 to go into making the tin. And then the lead becomes tin. Interesting. And it splits like this. In my mind, I kind of want some sort of, like, dual system where it's like we get the airs over here, we've got the metal department over here. This will make 1 tin and 1 quicksilver as output. Then the air can be slapped in and go to its respective location. In fact, we might be able to, like, unify like this. That'd be cool. I would love to kind of like symmetrize it where we have like an arm and it goes like boop, 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 boop. And I'd love to do that, keeping this sort of like stripe design to it. But the only way I can imagine doing that is with track, and well, the tracks don't split. So we would need one line to push the air in, and then one line to push the air to its destination. That's not possible, it's just annoying. So say we have two rails, one here, this will put the air here for bonding. Then we have a separate, like V-shaped track that goes here, which will then, upon bonding, choose its desired output location. And then we need the department of metal vehicles here. This one will not be so symmetrical, but there's at least stuff we can do with it, of course. Kind of like the implied symmetry of this. We put these in, they drop. Then we can get those in over here, and in the meantime, we can get the Quicksilver forward. Better done as this. Actually, it's a little tricky. We need to get both the elements here for bonding purposes. And let's say we don't do this, and instead, just to give some room in the middle, flare these outwards. That way this is no longer going do I go... I will be doing that anyway. So it'll either flare there or there, and then we have a lot of room in here to make something neat and orderly. Oh, how about this then? Love to give it the essence of symmetry, but it makes sense that I'm struggling. Maybe something like this. Hard part's moving the Quicksilver into position. No easy rotation from this position. And whoa, that's a wild prospect. But what if we cross the line? I'm starting to lose the plot. Well, how about if I do some sort of like staggered anti-symmetry? Where are my... There's my track. We do something like this, and then we do something like this, and then these are both like piston arms. Maybe one further over, actually. Yeah, I'm seeing a vision here, and we can go back to this, get our cool V formation. For some reason I want plus to be the direction we go for the first input. Just an opinion I've decided to have. Okay, let's start. Okay, so let's just see if we can do everything we need to. This would need to go out, plus, minus, and we're good. Then we can put that there, and look, we've made a little rocket ship. Maybe more appropriate for the last level, but I'll take it. So this level's for the aesthetic. I'm aestheticizing here. So let's see. We are just by the order that I've accidentally done this. Let's say grab, forward, plus. That's one of these. Minus. Reset. Number 4 will be grab, left, reset. I should do plus reset. Grab plus reset, grab, forward, reset. Okay, I like that. Now for the air side of it, we want to just forward it and do it again. We then want our intrepid air to go plus reset, grab, minus reset. We need to stall arm 1 because of the way the lead is. Oh no, better idea. Forget it. It'll be more symmetric with the forearm if it goes backwards first. I'm messing with the wrong arm completely. If we do the plus before the up, the lead will go left and then down, which will match the Quicksilver kind of, sort of, in the way that it's moving. That's more symmetric, it's more stylish, and it solves the problem already. Okay, it is clear that these need to be delayed anyway. Also, I've completely misinterpreted the direction these need to be going. These need to be going backwards. No, I like it. I'm gonna film the rocket here. In terms of a nice space efficient solution that like is interesting to look at, I think we've done good work today. These files contain a vapor that makes areas inaccessible for a time. Rest of poison? It won't be fatal. Very honorable, I doubt. Ahmed would be pleased. Oh, sorry, not very honorable. I doubt Ahmed would be pleased. I completely misinterpreted where the period goes in that sense. Do you have better ideas? We've been struggling to catch up this whole time. Nonsense. We're making a good show of our defense while we wait for House Colvin to respond to our message. A truce will be negotiated soon enough. Won't the terms be more favorable if we push back harder? The terms will be favorable either way. Ahmed is a master negotiator. That's how he built this house into what it is today. Okay, fair. I've got an idea for a new weapon, something simple that even the house staff could use. The staff? Those who haven't been bestowed a sword certainly shouldn't be given any other weapons. But what if House Colvin doesn't stand down? What if our soldiers can't hold the line against them? You're being foolish. A message will arrive any moment now. You keep saying that, and yet... Besides, if there is fighting indoors, the damage to the property would be extremely unfortunate. If Colvin breaches the perimeter, won't the consequences be much worse? He's got a point. Okay, so we are about to learn advanced fire bonding, and it's really, really annoying. Perhaps my least favorite glyph. Basically, there's triple bonding you can do with fire, where you can kind of like make a cool helix around it, and it's a completely different bond than normal bonds. And you use this triangle thing to do it, and you got to make sure that you get the bond to have all the 3 colors of bond, black, red, and yellow, and together they will form the triplex, which is good for exploding. This is a pure fire glyph thing. Only fire does triplex bonding, nothing else, as you can see by the triangles, which are the elemental symbol for fire. So we gotta work it out for us, because you gotta do some like wacky contortions to get all the triples in there. Spot for pistons. And then we'll just get a nice little salt bond at the end there and do that. Let's start with the... Well, I guess let's start somewhere. I'm about to show you the kind of stunt we are forced to pull in this kind of situation. So say pull left, pull left. That's one of them. And let's say this one comes in and this one resets. That's 2 of them. And then the third one's usually the tricky bit. In this case, best way I can do it would be to actually grab it from here. Wrong spin. 3's too late, too early. And there we have our triplet. Kind of a wacky thing, don't you think? Now I've over-engineered the heck out of these so we can remove them from pistons. Go back to this. I'm actually curious if I can go to 6 pair with the 2, so that I can just do its work. Sadly, does not appear to be the case. Also necessary. So we will be stuck with a 5 cycle today. One of the reasons I dislike the triplex bonding is it's hard to do fast. I'd actually like to clear up some space here, so I'm going to, instead of doing this by rotation, do it by lateral move. So now, while that's busy, darn it, easy to get this to a useful spot, but I think I have an idea. I was not paying attention to what just happened. Oh! Well, this continues to be a great inconvenience. Well, if rotations can't get you the job done, start pulling laterals. In fact, we can, since this will be the salt, just put the salt there. Then we can bond here. And reset. This is not doing anything. And that doesn't have to be up there. We can put it over here. Oh, that needs to reset. The weak link here is the 5, which needs to move twice to get back. That is mostly unavoidable. I do know of a way where I could fix it, but it would make the solution uglier, so I won't. And let's just turn this into a lovely hexagon. If you're wondering what the improvement would be, it would be to turn the 5 into like a 6 symmetry, and then have it like rotate instead of moving down twice. It would move down once and then rotate to drop it in immediately. Then it would be able to let go, move up, and then it'd be ready in the 5 cycle. I decided against it. There, a file of fire, able to be thrown by anyone, even those with no training. I can't imagine the captain enjoying that thought. Oh no, he absolutely hates the idea. Then why pursue it? Shouldn't we take every measure possible to ensure a victory? Are you sure this improves our chances? I don't know. Maybe not. I feel like I have to try everything. You're very enthusiastic, at least. Hey, Colvin sent a message. We got it. All right, cool. Now we can negotiate terms. Taros Colvin, master of... Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay. Yep. Taros Colvin, master of House Colvin, would like you to know that he will be pursuing this campaign until your unconditional surrender is received. For years, House Colvin has watched House Vantath and reaped the benefits of its standing without justly earning it. And Master Colvin, in his wisdom, has decided this arrogance has gone on long enough. Light your beacon green to signal your surrender, then we will negotiate. Varen Ravari, Head Alchemist, House Colvin. You know, Ravari is a character in the, he's known for making things. He's got an invention in the Journal of Alchemical Engineering, which it recommends I don't play because it's too hard. But we go back over here to here. We got Ravari's wheel. Ravari invented that. So like that, they got a pro on their side. I don't know if Anateus is up to this. Captain, what are you doing in that ancient armor? Isn't it obvious? I must lay down my life in battle. I have to take responsibility for the situation somehow. But that's such an old set. We could get you something more up to date from the armory. No, no. If I must be seen on the streets, I want to look like the heroes of old. The first rocket would be your end. If you insist on this set, let me at least reinforce it with some armor filament. Ah, we're learning about infinite product. Here's the idea about infinite product. It is infinitely long. Basically, you want, instead of like the previous stuff, where we were like piping in a thing, we're trying to invent a single, very long thread of a material. In this case, some armor filament, which I assume would be extruding out into the thing. I don't know how armor filament works. But the point is, instead of output, we are going to be slowly expanding the size of, in this case, an infinite chain of iron, with the intent of it just going off the board infinite. We're going to be extruding it like some extrudal. Is that why it's called extruding, or is that why strudel is called that? I don't actually know what strudel is. I just know it's got strud in it, and it kind of reminds me of spaghetti, which feels like a very extruded pasta. Functionally, this is an introduction to the concept of, well, infinitely long chains of stuff. I figure we can deal with this in a very similar way to that we did the rocket. It's just going to require some bonding. Let's just say we have number 2 just repeatedly, just doing that. We want to double time the Quicksilver, most certainly. Oh, wrong way, 3. And I think in the interests of Wayne, let's go with a little bit of like a piston track system, just to get that good linear motion. In plus reset. Actually, given the cycles here, maybe it would be in our best interest to make 2 of these. Staggered slightly. Not staggered enough, it seems. Oh no, we cannot possibly make this any more compact. We can't 4-cycle it because, well, okay, we could. I'm not doing it though. I really want to. Okay, hold on. What we want to do is not this then. What we want to do is this then. This is too long now. First off, this doesn't need to be this anymore. Simply be a track. I'm doing this because an arm and a 1 single track is less expensive than a piston. And then it makes this piston look better because it's like pistoned on both sides. There we go. 4-cycle. Pretty good. Slightly slower than the best I ever did. I assume there's a bit of a timing improvement I could make. Maybe have like multiple arms doing that thing in like some system. It doesn't really matter. We got it good though. May yet be hope. Perhaps I will single-handedly turn the tide of battle. I suppose anything is possible. What circumstances? A total offensive like this hasn't happened in generations, centuries. And yet here we are. Sworn to defend House Fantastic for life. I thought that would be a very long time. No matter what happens, you will be remembered, Captain. Perhaps the Colvin message was mistaken. I wouldn't assume it was. It could still be retracted, an error by a scribe or page, the wrong letter sent. I'm sorry to say, I think that's rather unlikely. Stay here a little while longer, Captain. I'll make you a potion of courage. Something to inflame your blood with the fighting spirit. Thank you, Anateus. That's kind of you. Well, things are going bad, and we are now making alcohol. That makes sense, I suppose. Okay, so we have water and fire. We need water, fire, salt, and salt. So we're probably going to split this up into 2 bits. Awkward part is that the water and the fire are connected. Which means I can't make like 2 pairs and then unify them later. I can do a little bit of that. So let's see here. We don't need to worry about salting. We can salt at any point in the process so long as it happens. So over, reset. So you are the same. Wrong way. Yep, I'm thinking about the logistics of this, and I think triplex is the order of the day. Meanwhile, I'll get that track there and turn this into a plus. Longer arm. No, 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 no. Well, okay. Conceptually, yes, but not in this way. That way. I was autopiloting to getting my 3rd element would be the second salt, but I think we should get the second salt from the fire, just to match throughput. The path. Too early. 5 needs to happen later. Ooh, the fact that doesn't work is painful. No idea. Rotate from there. Can't rotate from there. Too far away. Mirror the whole idea, then do that. You're spinning the wrong way now. Like that. Did not really help. It's still rotating around the same axis. It's just whether it's doing it like that or not. So maybe we need to change the axis. Oh wait, perhaps. looks good. From here 3, I would have you reset 5. I would like you to turn that way. Okay, 5 cannot be a track anymore because I want it to be a 6 symmetried. This will not work the way I'm envisioning because it will let go and then it will pick up immediately. Wait a minute, never mind. This is just the solution. We're done. Trying to find a good place to put the second calcification glyph. Here looks like it fits. Then we put product out here. That, please. Okay, so we're doing another extra loop, I think, but we can 4-cycle it with this. In fact, even better than the most recent, the previous best cycling. I do like to optimize for cycle. I just like the well-oiled machine of it all. Do you think this courage potion will work? It seems difficult to contradict the habits of a lifetime. It will, after a fashion. The potion I gave him is mostly alcohol. Glad to see you haven't lost your willingness to toy with the poor captain, even in these dire straits. It's not toying, not this time. If honor demands that he lay down his life, I want him to feel comfortable, at least. And most like himself. It's touching in an odd sort of way. How'd it go? My lord, the enemy is upon us. I must now enter the fray myself. It has been an honor, the highest honor, to serve you for almost 50 years. If I had 100 lives, I would give them all, but I am sorry I have just one. Gelt. Captain Ernst Gelt. It's over. That's the end of it. Gelt made his sacrifice, the soldiers are fleeing, and I have word from Armand himself that we're to change the signal light on the tower to pale green. Armand is better at treaties than he is at battles. There's hope yet after the surrender. I hate this. I did everything I could. If it hadn't been for Captain Gelt's tepid strategies and Armand's stubborn insistence on keeping honor, and Frederick's inability to do anything, but the future remains to be seen. We were defeated so easily. I can't believe this. I got here just a few months ago, and the first major event is our surrender to another house? I've been here my whole life and has never witnessed something like this. Well, time to learn about things falling apart. We've been putting things together. It's time to separate things. We have an orange flare. We got to turn it green. In the fundamental sense, we got to turn this orange into copper. Now, based on how the glyph of quicksilvering works, we don't have a way to reach the iron, which is where the glyph of unbonding comes in. We need to remove a salt, put in a quicksilver, and then put the salt back in. I'm not going to go for speed, I'm just going to go for simplicity. I'm going to try and do this in a sort of like surgical kind of way. I'm going to grab this, put that down, and then reset. Actually, no, I'm going to need to do this white. Actually, you know what? I think it's time to do like a major assembly line. So we grab this, remove this. Then we wait. No, I think we do need to treat this in a sort of like a assembly line kind of way. We'll go slow and methodical. Sometimes it's easier for me to think in terms of many individual arms doing exactly one job. But here, I'm going to have this one do a lot of things. Grab, move, wait. Job of this one to be to slide this over. Now grabbing also happens before everything else, so we need to wait a turn. Then move, drop. This one is in charge of putting the Quicksilver into place, and it will move in sequence with everything. I didn't think that through. That is not so easily stalled. Unless we move around like this. And this one can go in like that. And this one needs to wait. Oh, it's just not happy with that. Wow. Surprised. Well, if it's doing that, we may as well just move this in like this. Some way to make it work. And there's the problem there. Okay, this is tricky. This is unneeded. Just turn it. Ah. Maybe this. Oh, no, back to moving. Suddenly it goes back to this being appealing. But I understand. Oh, we could have two reverse like that. We have a better idea though. Then 2 should let go. 2's already letting go. Oh darn. This is a case where we do need to... We can't. Because that's the letting go phase that needs to happen. Interesting. He'll break. Oh, because I'm not actually moving the rotation, just the reset. Well, there's our flare. Not a fast solution. My first not fast solution. Okay, it's still pretty fast. It's a complicated procedure doing surgery on a flare. So what's supposed to happen now? Not sure. We have negotiations? Useless. Negotiations aren't useless. No, I mean I'm useless. What good is my skill if I couldn't change anything? Why did I go through the trouble? Now's not the time for a big philosophical soul-searching reverie. You're right, of course. You know what? I'm saving that for next time. It's been approximately 4 hours. We've made good progress. We've gotten through 2 of the acts. I think we're on pace. I've got a little extra buffer room that we can at least get to the end of Act 5 before Dere shows up. And Act 5 is the end of the mainline plot, so that will put us in good standing for Metallica. Excited for that. I'm having a good time. This is relaxing. It's still something I have to, like, put thought into, because I gotta, like, coordinate everything, but it is still relaxing. I enjoy it. I don't have anything else to say on the matter. I had a good time. Hope you're having a good time. See you next time. This is probably just going to be the thing I'm doing until Dare Metallica shows up, because based on my math, I'd basically have to stream every single day doing all that just to hit Dare Metallica's release date on time on the day. And I don't want to wait. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good time. It's already a good time. I'm Exception. This is In TV. Have a good day, and good night.